we have our second ever monthly, or I'm sorry, not quarterly Titanium Plus event. $5,000 tournament held at the DCU Center, Worcester, Massachusetts. Pretty cool. We're giving away 2 invitations to the Titanium Finals today.
I know a thing or two about these invitations.
Yeah, Dylan has actually already secured his spot.
I have. I was in the finals of the previous one, and I've got to say, I love this tournament series.
You recommend coming in second?
I recommend coming in first, but
okay.
I also recommend splitting in the finals so that if you lose, it doesn't matter.
Nice.
It's only the prestige that I lost.
Yeah,
That's
you
all,
lost
that's
the
all that
one
really
round
mattered.
bye, basically. Yeah.
The one round bye and the ability to say that I won.
Yeah. So the way this tournament works is it's a cash tournament. You pay money to enter. Obviously, no tournaments are free.
Yeah.
And pays down to the top 32, where cut to top 8. Top 8 qualifies for nothing. Top 4 qualifies for nothing. But if you make it to the finals, you're automatically qualified for the Titanium Finals early next year, January. That's going to be an invite-only tournament where every player who participates gets money just for showing up.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty cool.
It's what is it? It's like a 32-player 5K.
It's 24 or 32.
24 or 32.
Right now it's 24. If we decide to expand it and add more slots, it'll go up to 32. But for right now, you are one of only like 8 people who have qualified for one of these.
It's pretty prestigious.
Guaranteed $500, which is cushy.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah. So Keith Wrong, previous champion, he's in the room today.
Yeah. The master of collective brutality, Keith Wrong.
Yeah. As it turns out, you draw 2 collective brutalities against Burn. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Yeah, you just draw 1 and it's good enough.
Yeah.
And you just tar fire my Nikotl because I kept them in for some reason.
I mean, you sleeved up Burn. You accepted your fate.
Nah.
You lose to life gain.
that is my fate. But yeah, so we have how many players today?
There's about 150, 160 players, which is, pretty good when it pays to top 32.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to just double your money, you have to go like 5 and 3 to double your money, which is pretty easy to do.
It's not bad. And we have a number of excellent local players from the main Mass, Virginia, and New Hampshire area. A lot of people I've known for many years. People are finally getting recognition now via this tournament circuit for how good they are at the game. Because some players, they just don't have the time to commit to the game, to travel around to GPs and to really grind. But these kind of local circuits are really what they need to be able to flesh out their Magic career and do something more that with real high stakes.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, you think about a PPTQ, you have to go to a PPTQ, you have to win it to then qualify for an RPTQ. Different format, 2 hours away, that can be tough to do.
Or longer.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I was in Western Mass, and I had to go to Boston, which isn't too far. That was only 2 hours away. Yeah, it's still a hike, and on a Saturday, that's basically the only chance I had to qualify. Once every 4 months, 5 months, you have this one chance to qualify for the Pro Tour,
which
is the ultimate prize. But these, you can go to the in-store events at TJ Collectibles, try and win a 50, 60, 70-person tournament there every single month with coverage, which is pretty fun.
It's not bad for a local tournament. Like, it is certainly something that you'd want to go to and want to invest some time in, because it's $30. You go in. Player numbers are reasonable. So anywhere between 60 to 80 players, and all you have to do is just grind out a few rounds into top 8, and you make a very reasonable amount of money. Last challenge, everyone left with, I believe, $160.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, for what amounts to 7 hours of just playing Magic and having fun.
Yeah, we are. This tournament series, if you don't know about it, it's pretty great. It's kind of like filling a void that the old PTQ system left. Like the old PTQ system, you got to play Magic every Saturday with the same players from your tri-state area or whatever it might be. You get to see the same faces, see your friends, evolve your deck week to week to week.
Yeah, and that really went away when they changed to the PPTQ system. Then it becomes more local.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty nice to be able to actually test your mettle against some of these players who, are better than you or are at the same level as you or at least close. You might have experienced this. You're at your local shop. You have your modern deck. You have your standard deck, whatever it might be. You get paired against a player. He's playing a deck that
he's playing an unsleeved
deck,
deck full of dragons and goblins.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wants to play, and that doesn't really give you a whole lot of testing information. That doesn't give you what you need to grow as a Magic player, and these kind of events are exactly what you need to take the next step and move up the level to that Grand Prix Day 2, to that RPTQ positive record,
Titanium Finals.
to that Titanium Finals.
We have a lot of former champions in the room. We have Sam Richardson. We have Keith Wrong. Taylor Pratt, I don't think in attendance, but we do have last month's champion Nick Starr.
Nick Starr.
Who you did an interview with.
I
did an interview with. The man has had many chances to be on camera. He has a sick record with his Geist deck, his Jeskai aggro deck.
Last challenge, he went 20-2 in games.
Nice.
That's insane numbers.
Yeah. Modern is a format. By the way, we're playing Modern today, all
yeah.
Modern. The Titanium series is completely Modern.
Always completely modern.
No standard, no limited, no legs. None of this stuff. It's Modern.
There is some Legacy on the Plus event day too.
Yeah, sure.
But,
If you want to come and play some Legacy, you can do that. We'll give you an outlet to do that. Standard, no standard.
No standard, no thanks.
Best format. And you can evolve your deck week to week, month to month in Modern, which, you can do that in Standard too, but new sets come out, rotations.
The problem with Standard is you really need to continually change your deck and what deck you're playing to fit the meta. You can't really, for the most part, in most Standard metas, you can't really play the same deck over and over and over again, month to month.
It's tough.
Because, your deck becomes outdated, cards release, metas change. The sideboard cards people play change. You need to constantly stay up on it, and it can be very taxing. Especially at local level when players don't understand that and they're just sticking to the same deck over and over again. So you're not learning anything from that. And the online meta can be pretty inbred sometimes.
Yeah, so that's why we stick to Modern. The most popular format in Magic, in my opinion, the best format in Magic. Legacy diehards, sure, you might be right, but sorry, I'm not paying $1,000 for Tabernacle.
I'll give you your shout out, Legacy players. You're dedicated. You like your format. Your format's great.
Yeah,
I'm sure you have a lot of fun losing to Charbelcher on turn 1, but I don't. I like losing to a Death Shadow on turn 1. That's how I like losing my games.
Way better.
Yeah, because it takes them a few turns to kill me with it. I potentially beat it, but probably won't.
Death Shadow is the kingpin of the format, the boogeyman of the format.
At the moment.
It keeps people honest.
Yeah.
I do not want them to ban it.
I think that it wouldn't be the end of Modern if they banned it, but I don't see a reason to ban it. I don't think it's necessary.
I don't think they have to. And I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about Death Shadow in the coming rounds.
I'm sure we will.
Because it's everywhere. But for now, we got Nick Starr and we got Sam Lawrence. Now, Sam I don't know. Never met Sam before.
I like him already, though. The man has taste. He's playing 4-color Copycat.
Yeah.
He's playing in Modern, which is wild.
Yeah, he's playing the Saheeli Rai Felidar Guardian combo deck. Banned in Standard, it was so good. He wants to make infinite an arbitrarily large number of 1/4 Felidar Guardians and enter the attack step.
This deck is quite similar to the twin decks of old. No longer a part of Modern, unfortunately. Deemed too powerful, but he is adding black from the old American variety. It looks in order to play some spicy cards like Collective Brutality. Let's see, what else do we have
I
here?
saw Lingering Souls.
Lingering Souls.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yeah, he has a lot of value cards in this deck. So he wants to play like a value deck, play like a value deck. Maybe use the Felidar Guardian to get some advantage with his Snapcaster Mage, but then all of a sudden combo out.
Yeah, he also has some excellent sideboard cards, like Fulminator Mage against Tron and Eldrazi Tron. Oh, and we have a turn 3. Oh, we are in the danger zone, boys.
Yeah, Nick now knows what's up. No.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on. We have a Ping You, Scry 1.
Now, Sam probably doesn't know that Nick's on an aggro deck, as it turns out. Nick playing a kind of like a Protect the Geist Jeskai aggro version where he tries to put a clock down, back it up with counter magic, and then in a flurry of burn, just end the game.
Yeah, Nick is a master of this style of deck. And the great thing about this deck is that it's really fallen by the wayside in the last few years through Modern. Like, back when I got into Modern 5 years ago, this was one of the decks of the format, Protect the Geist deck.
Oh, this was the king of the format.
Oh yeah, it was that and Jund. Those were the two big decks Deathrite Jund and Protect the Geist. And the thing with it is it's just like most modern decks, it just kind of trailed off.
Yeah.
But Nick is bringing it back and showing that the deck is just as powerful as it always was.
Well, it's so good against the Death Shadow decks, and that's really why.
Oh yeah. Oh, we have a remand on the namesake card Geist.
Yep. Sam in the driver's seat here. He has his Planeswalker. He's generating value every turn. You actually get to untap with his Planeswalker, which is pretty amazing. I'm not sure what kind of hand Nick kept here. He didn't do anything on turn 1. He didn't do anything on turn 2. He didn't do anything on turn 3. He let the card resolve with a mana up.
It's quite strange. I think he was holding up. It looked like he was holding up Spell Snare on turn 1. He played a Tap Colony turn 2, still holding up Spell Snare. And then turn 3, he was holding up removal or counter magic for a potential cat.
Yeah.
I don't think he could. I think that was definitely the correct line. You really can't just tap out against a turn 3 Saheeli Rai in any format.
Give them the free win.
Yeah, it's just it's like tapping out against 3 mana against Twin back in the day. It was just a death sentence.
Yeah, you
They
can do
always
it if
have
you
it.
have to, but
Yeah.
And yeah, here's Sam very far ahead. I mean, he played perfectly against Nick's plan. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. He played perfectly against the plan, which was to not use his mana when Nick left up 3, which basically said, okay, Nick, I know you have a counter. I'm just not going to play anything.
Yeah,
I'm going to sit on my remand.
Just gonna tick up this Saheeli, ping you, move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he really has the time right now because there's not a significant clock on him by Nick yet.
Exactly.
Nick attempted to resolve a Geist on turn 4, holding up 1 mana for potential interaction.
Spell Snare.
Yeah, but he chose to. You actually see that he chose to let the remand on his Geist resolve and not fight over it, so he could act like he had something else. I assume he probably has a bolt in order to interact with the Saheeli Rai here.
Okay. Now, Saheeli Rai, you might not know what the ultimate does. I had to refresh my memory, in fact. It's not a high-impact ultimate. You know, most Planeswalkers like you build towards that ultimate ability and threaten to end the game with some insurmountable advantage. The Rai, though, the king, the queen, whatever she is, she searches for 3 artifacts with different names, which, I mean, looking at Sam's deck list,
I don't actually think he has any targets.
I
Does
don't
he?
see a single artifact.
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't really matter is the thing with this deck. All it has to do, all Saheeli Rai has to say is 2 abilities. That's all that matters. It's +1, dig to my combo, -2, win the game.
yeah, it's weird that a Planeswalker would be like that, because usually you're playing it for the ultimate. You play it to protect itself, build towards an ultimate.
I remember when Saheeli Rai was initially spoiled, and people looked at it and were like, "What is this? What is this card?
Garbage, yeah.
Well, what is this trash? It doesn't do anything." And then,
Well, it doesn't, right?
yeah, it doesn't do anything by itself. Doesn't protect itself. Oh, this is horrible. And then they print the cat, and then everyone's like, "Oh, okay, this makes more sense." And then they come out and say, "Oh, we didn't mean to print the cat. We didn't realize it." And everyone was like, "What's actually going on?"
Oh, man. Luckily, Wizards has gone through some changes recently. It seems like hopefully this kind of thing won't be happening in the future, that a 2-card combo won't just be missed.
We see there was he attempted to resolve his Geist. There was a snap remand that was met with a snare on the remand, which I agree with. It's fine for him to be given the snap and then just counter the remand in order to tap him as low as possible, so he can't interact with him further from his hand.
Now, this is really interesting, because Sam could have just gone for the combo here. He could have just said, okay, play Felidar, Saheeli combo it, but instead he went for value. He's like, all right, I'll blink my guy, or I'll blink my Snap, flashback Serum Vision, search for extra counter magic, because he does have the negate in hand. He wants to go Felidar with negate back up.
That makes a lot of sense.
But what was he worried about?
He's worried about both here, because if he goes Guardian, target something. Oh, actually, this is very interesting. So he was on 5 lands here. So what he could have done is he could have cast Guardian. He could have blinked a land, right, and then held up the gate, and then ticked down his Rai. Because realistically, on red-blue, there's nothing that Nick could have had. There's no relevant card in the format that could have disrupted that, because the Saheeli is at 6. The Felidar Guardian has 4 toughness, Bolt doesn't kill either at the time, and so he gets to hold up negate after the trigger resolves while he combos. So this was just a miss from Sam, unfortunately, and he might end up getting. He's going to be very punished by this. It looks like Nick going for the Bolt on snap, untapping. And he is most likely going to send the Angel towards the Saheeli right here.
Yeah, you got to get that off the board.
Yeah, now it's a matter of, does Sam have a way to interact with this Geist and this Angel? Because if he does not, he has just put himself quite behind.
Now, the safe play from Nick is to attack both at the Saheeli, and it looks like that's what he's doing, playing around a potential blocker or path to exile, something like that.
We have a click. Well, the thing is, so if he attacks the Saheeli with the Geist, it goes down to 2. Then he can cast a Felidar Guardian blinking the Saheeli, so it being a 2 wouldn't matter unless Nick has a Bolt or a just like that, a Helix. So it didn't matter anyway because he just Helixes the click in response to the trigger.
Sure.
And then goes attacking. The push is where okay, the trigger did target Nick. He's looking at a Hollowed Fountain, a Snapcaster, and a Geist. I would like to mention that most of Nick's deck is foil. I appreciate this a lot. It's quite good. So here, this pick. So the pick is either between leaving him with his hand or taking the Geist, the snap, because the Geist doesn't really do anything. All right. Yep. See, he went with that option. So he's going to go Path on your token to try to save my Saheeli, or at least keep it alive, because he can. Oh, interesting. So he can go snap Helix or snap Bolt your Saheeli here now to make sure that the Saheeli dies.
Yeah.
So your previous comment about attacking the Saheeli with both was correct to assure Saheeli dies here.
Yeah, this is the kind of matchup where you don't really win by eking out a few extra damage. I mean, it can happen, and Celestial Colonnade on Nick's side of the board makes it more likely. But often with Planeswalkers, you just have to get them off the board. You have to establish board presence. They're so powerful. You get between like 2 and 8 extra mana every single turn with the Planeswalker.
So this is interesting. So Nick chose to not snap Bolt on his turn. I think he might get punished by this.
Okay, we'll see. Here's the Saheeli.
So we have Saheeli, the Felidar. So he's going to go target the Saheeli most. Oh wait, so he ticked up. So he's going to go target the Saheeli here. If this resolves, which it will. Nick has Helix, Bolt, and Snare in graveyard. He goes Bolt and negate, and the game ends. Wow, that was quite interesting. There were several play decisions that just didn't pan out for either party. Sam was put severely behind, and then Nick Star just made a judgment call, not expecting the gate, and it did not play out well for him.
Yeah, he was pretty greedy there. I mean, he was greedy in a couple different ways, right? Because like you said, on his turn, he could have snap bolted, but even on that last turn, he could have snap bolted, leaving a red man up. He left an Iganjo Castle up on a potential remand, right?
So also, based on the fact that Sam knows his hand because of the click, right? And no information has changed. So it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to go snap at instant speed. You're just leaving yourself up to disruption.
Yeah, it's round 1, game 1 of a tournament. Nick Star, school teacher by trade. I don't think he's waking up early this summer. I just got to say, I don't think he is. I think school teachers during the summer, from the few I know, doing a lot of extracurriculars, enjoying their summer, and it's early in the day. So we'll forgive Nick that one, and hopefully he can win the next few games, because his deck has a lot of play, and especially a lot of play against this Saheeli deck. He has so much burn.
Oh yeah, and
I like his chances.
He has a lot of good board cards here. We have a Karanos, an Elspeth. Let's see. He brings in. He's a Snapcaster, is a Staticaster. None of that really is great. Dispel definitely comes in.
Absolutely. Maybe an extra burn.
Maybe a Helix. Yeah. Yep. He has a Helix to bring in.
Really, actually, not much, huh?
Yeah. Well, I think main board he's just set up very well. He's on 4 main board bolts, 4 main board paths, 3 main board Helix, an Electrolyze, a Logic Knot. Like, he's got a lot of ways to interact here.
So
I think he really doesn't need many things to come in.
I liked his chances game 1. I like his chances after board. I think he probably has a good matchup because Sam, in my opinion, wants to play against a less interactive deck.
Yeah, he really wants to try to combo as quickly as possible and just play the turn 4 rule and assume his opponent isn't going to have interaction. But he can still interact a little bit. So it looks like post board, Sam has some Lingering Souls he can bring in. He has a Dispel. He has a Blessed Alliance, which is that's actually quite good.
That one's awesome.
That's great because with the Geist trigger on the stack,
yep.
he can just go Blessed Alliance, Edict you, sacrifice your Geist, and then you get an Angel. You smack me with it. Whatever, your Geist is gone.
Now that's a pretty specific timing window. If you haven't thought about that interaction, you might not really realize that yet you have the window to Blessed Alliance. So it'd be interesting to see if Sam does.
But that's the thing. For every trigger, you always have a response. Anything that goes on the stack, you can always respond to it. That's one of the best things about Magic is just how interactive it is and how much play there is.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And you think about these products like Duel of the Planeswalkers, this upcoming Magic Digital next, and it's tough to see how they're going to keep all the interaction, all the timing windows, all the cute things in Magic.
I think things are going to get better in next. Duels, from what I remember of 2014, 2015 Duels, was a nightmare.
It's barely
for priority.
It's barely Magic.
It's just sorcery speed Magic. Everything plays at sorcery speed.
All right, so we have the players. They have opening hands here. Nick will be on the play because he lost the game 1, and he'll be looking for a hand with a fast clock, unlike last game.
Most definitely. Looks like he has his Saheeli, and he has kept his 7. So Nick goes tapped Colonnade pass into Sam's tap Sacred Foundry pass. Now, Sam's deck choice is actually pretty interesting. When the camera panned out to him, I realized I know Sam. Sam is a local player. He plays in New Hampshire up at Black Moon Games.
Oh, okay.
Great store. Sam has been playing 4-color decks for quite a while. He's been playing 4-color control mostly, which was the blue-red deck featuring a bunch of burn spells, but except minus what Nick Starr was doing, where he's playing Geist in 3 colors. He was playing 4 colors and Lingering Souls mainly. That was his mainly for the Black Splash, because Lingering Souls it's such a powerful card where it's good. It just does so much. It clocks control opponents with difficult to answer threats. It beats down in combo matchups. It blocks in aggro matchups. It's very versatile, and we have a turn 3 Geist.
Yeah, this is interesting. Nick decides to remand the Spreading Seas. Kind of a quote waste of a remand. He must have been trying to hit a Geist or a 3rd land because he definitely didn't need that mana.
It was quite an aggressive play, but I agree with it. I think it's right to, depending on the complexion of his hand, to just start jamming cards.
Cycle. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just use it as the time walk you cycle.
Yeah. I mean, he has cards like Logic now. He has cards like Snapcaster Mage. So getting the card in his graveyard, it's kind of spinning his wheels a little bit.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to hit on a flashback Lingering Souls. That's for sure.
That's true. That's true. Hopefully he has a snap for the rematch here. That would be pretty good.
Yeah, it would. So here we go. These guys will attack. We'll
Coming
see.
in, double block, Helix 1.
Helix 1. Makes sense.
So Sam loses 1/2 of his Lingering Souls to that attack.
Takes 4 though.
Does.
I mean, 13, you saw this Jeskai Geist deck in action. 13 is not actually that much life.
It's not very high. There is a lot of situations where he can just attempt to go for his combo, and Nick can just kill him in the meantime.
Sure, yeah.
Just disrupt one part of it and just keep attacking you with Geist.
Mm-hmm. So Polluted Delta gets the crack. Probably just taking 1. I mean, I'd be worried for Sam if he had to take 3 here. I sure hope it's only 1.
Yeah. I think Sam knows what's going on though. Sam is a veteran player to the scene. Used to be an old Yu-Gi-Oh guy way back in the day.
Yeah.
Moved on to a far better game, and he's had a lot of success on the back in the old IQ circuit. He's had a lot of success in the PPTQ circuit.
here we go.
Oh,
Lingering Souls flashback. But hey, Mana Leak. So Nick knows that if he gives this Lingering Souls deck a lot of time, if he gives this combo deck a lot of time, it's gonna kill him. So he's just spending cards on half of a card.
Yeah.
He's spending cards on a quarter of a card.
And the great thing about this line too is that earlier he was able to Helix, and so this Fetch Shock is essentially free.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so takes off the Colonnade, goes attacking, slam you for 6, pass the turn.
Yeah. Sam at 6. So Sam 1 attack away.
He is very close to dead.
Nick with a single piece of disruption should be able to take this game, or at least put himself in a position to force something desperate out of Sam.
Yeah, the only Sam has basically not a lot of lines here. He really needs to find something to block this Geist and kill this token at the same time while protecting that line. So we have attacks.
Double snap.
Oh. So snap 1 is going to be snared. Snap 2. Do we have an answer for snap 2?
Resolve. Snap 2 might resolve.
Ooh. Interesting.
So okay, trades off. Sam does fall to 2 though.
That is within burn range.
Not a comfortable life total.
Right, so we have another Geist.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yep. Oh no.
So needs to come up with 2 more Snapcaster Mages here. And he's not going to be able to do it. He's got like Felidar. Now he's got Sahili, Negate.
Yeah, if he had a 6th land here, he could just try to go for it. He could just go Sahili, a Felidar, blink my land, Sahili.
Yep.
But he is on 5 right now. It doesn't look like he has a land in his end, and he scoops him up, going to game 3.
Yeah. This has got to be a great matchup for Nick. I mean, you have to figure that the deck with 4 Path, 4 Bolt, 4 Helix, like spell snares, remit, like all of these ways to interact.
Every generic card in your deck says interact with their combo, which is spectacular. That's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, I love this matchup for Nick. I mean, even the random one-ofs he has, the Cryptic, the Electrolyze, the Logic Knot, these cards are really good. The only blanks against Sam, there really aren't any. I guess Resto's his worst card.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still good.
Resto's still great because you can go Resto, blink my snap, target another interaction spell potentially. If you're on, say you're on, what is that? That's 7 mana. But I mean, Nick can get there in this matchup. It's a very slow matchup. Like on Sam's side, he really can't afford to just smash his combo onto the board. Nick with a lot of advantage here.
I really wonder what he sided out, because I'm looking at this deck and like every card is good in the matchup. What do you think he sides out?
I think he probably took out the Angels, I want to say. Let's see. Probably the Cryptic. Cryptic, though a counterspell, isn't great in this matchup because it just costs so much mana and can get easily dispelled.
Okay.
In the Blue Mirrors, some people would say, oh, you never take out your Cryptics in the Blue Mirrors, but no. Because the counter magic gets cheaper post-board, you most definitely just side them all out.
Really?
Don't even worry about it.
I'm one of those guys you're talking about. It says never side out Cryptic. Cryptic is so good because at the worst you go, all right, end of turn, bounce your land, draw a card. End of turn, bounce your creature, draw a card. That's like, it's okay.
It's okay, but there's just so much more you could be doing. You could just be trying to resolve an actual threat, I think, or just like side in more dispels, more spell pierces, more of that variety of counterspell.
Okay, fair enough. Nick
But
Star, I was talking with Nick about a week ago, 5 days ago, talking about this tournament, if he's going to make any changes to his deck, and we were talking, and I think he's the winningest player in Titanium Series history.
I would agree with that.
Short though, maybe. This series has only been around for about 7 months, but Nick Star has top-8'd 4 events, I want to say. Maybe it's only 3.
I think it's more.
I think it's 4.
It's more.
I think it's 4 of the events. He's gone 5-2 at a couple.
I know he's top 16 at least every single challenge.
Yeah. He has a read on the metagame. He plays his deck really well, game 1 notwithstanding. Nick will forgive you for that one. It's early. But yeah, he's an all-star. He knows all the players. He knows all the regulars. And here we go. We're in the game.
We have a turn 1 Serum Visions, the classic starter for any blue deck in the format. Do you think that they should bring back one of the banned cantrips? Maybe bring back Preordain?
Probably not. Storm is already pretty good.
Yeah, that's the really problem. I think if they bring back Preordain, they need to ban Grape Shot.
Sure.
Maybe empty the Warrens too. Because it would make other combo decks good too, or like better too. But the issue is not a lot of the other blue combo decks are very good. Ad nauseum, not great.
Yeah, it might be safe. I'd be a little worried, but it could be safe. That's like pretty low down on the list of cards I'd unban.
Yeah, it's no Hybrid Genesis.
Right, it's true. All right, here we are in game. Take us through what's going on.
All right, so we have a stare down on both sides. Both players casting Serum Visions, but not really doing a whole lot besides that. Just playing lands and staring at each other, which is most blue mirrors in Modern.
Yeah, first few turns you start sculpting, you start building your hand, feel out what the other guy's doing. Be like, is this the kind of person who would play Spell Snare? Do I go for my Seas now? Do I wait till I have Mana Leak back up?
And Nick piloting around Spell Snare Spreading Seas quite well here. He went turn 1 Island, turn 2 Fetch Land, no crack.
Right.
Turn 3, wait for turn 3 to a Ganjo Castle, so that none of his lands get hit by Spreading Seas efficiently. And so we have an end step click. How does Nick want to respond to this?
This is exactly the kind of thing Sam wants to do. He wants to play an end of turn spell so he can untap and actually resolve one of his key cards in the matchup.
So we have a bolt into a look at your hand and whoa, double Geist, remand, dispel, path to exile, and a steam vents. Wow, his hand is quite good,
yeah.
And he is. Sam is attempting to make it less good, taking away the dispel. Nick draws a card, and then we go back to Sam's turn.
Yeah. Pretty obvious take there for Sam. Take the cheapest piece of interaction you have. You can't take a Geist because Nick has 2. Remand is just not a hard counter, so easy choice. You take the dispel, and more importantly, you know Nick's hand, or just as importantly.
Ooh, and a bolt from Nick Star. Nick Star's hand,
good draw.
Just so good.
Good draw. So now it's pretty sketchy, right? Because you could slam a Geist.
Slams Geist.
But that walks into remand.
It walks into remand, and then he's going to... Looks like he's thinking about shocking. Oh, he's not going to shock. He's going to pass the turn.
Yeah, I like the decision.
Yeah, he's not at risk of getting Saheeli this turn on 5 mana. And Sam sided in the Fulminators.
Okay.
I'm not too surprised about that, actually.
It blocks the Geist.
Yeah,
it
blocks the Geist. It pops some of Nick's lands. It can take him off. As is here, he took him off white, so he can't cast the Geist here unless he finds another white source.
Yeah, I mean, a Ganjo. A good catch. I don't know if that was the table judge or Sam, but
he attempted to fetch with a Polluted Delta to get a Secret Foundry, which is not a thing that can happen.
So easy to do.
It is that's an honest mistake because you fetch and you think, I can just get whatever with this.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because we're also used to just fetching anything with our fetch lands.
Yeah, when I draw fetch land, I'm thinking to myself, this makes any color of mana.
Yeah, this is 5 colors, equivalently.
So, Nick with no white source.
No, that's not good. So I'm not terrible though. He really doesn't. Oh, he found the white source. Never mind. We're all good. Goes for a shock. Slams a Geist.
Boom.
And there's another remand. Does Nick want to fight over it?
No, I don't think he can.
I really think he can't, especially with turn 6 coming up. He cannot fight over it.
Wow, Sam is drawing straight gas here.
Ooh. I think he's gonna go for a Kolaghan's Command end step.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Now this is just looking like a 4-color value deck this game.
Yeah, that is the previous deck Sam played before this. Okay, so he goes with a remand on it. Oh, and now this could end badly.
If he has it.
Nope, it does not look like he has the Saheeli Rai plus 6 land. I know he does have Felidar Guardian in hand. Something interesting about Sam's list I'm noticing is that he doesn't have a huge amount of targets to to hit with his Felidar Guardian outside of the combo. He has Snapcaster Mage, which can be okay, but is quite expensive. He has Click, which is fine, also fine. But besides that, he doesn't have any of the things we saw back in Standard, like Oath of Chandra or Oath of Nissa. Of course, Oath of Nissa could be relevant in Modern if you play it in a 4-color with green variant of the 4-color Saheeli deck, but I don't think that version is as good as this one.
Yeah, Jerry Thompson was playing a 4-color Saheeli combo deck a few months ago. He was testing it out on his stream, and or at least in a pre-recorded video, and he was playing Oath of Nissa. It looked pretty cool. He had like 6 or 7 mana dorks, Oath of Nissa, so he always did something turn 1. He found his combo. He had Cord for value to get various one-offs. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the real problem with Felidar Guardian Standard was that you just it was too good incidentally.
Right.
It wasn't just that it was an infinite combo, but it just did so much with the Oaths and other cards that were featured in that deck. But wow, this was interesting. Sam going straight on attacking, slamming with all his tokens, and just not caring about protection from this Geist.
This is surprising. I mean, theoretically, you're trading 6 damage for 4, but it looks like Sam might have an idea about this Blessed Alliance here.
Ooh, yeah. Looks like he is going to go for this Blessed Alliance with the trigger on the stack. The interaction we spoke about earlier.
Here we go. Do we do two modes?
Two modes. He's going to go for gain 4 plus Edict You.
Walking into Mana Leak if Nick has it. Can't imagine he does, or he'd slam it.
Well, I mean, he might be. He might just be slow rolling it. It's possible.
Be kind of savage.
Knowing Nick, he's pretty savage. It looks like he does have Snap, so he could Snap Remand here potentially. That does give Sam the option to do another cast it again, but he does not go with it. He decides it's fine. Just play another Geist.
Yep. So he knows that Sam has a lot of cards in hand. He knows his hand must be stocked. This is post-board. There aren't any dead removal spells in Sam's hand.
Actually, there is.
Well,
if you look at his hand,
there shouldn't be, right?
there is a Fatal Push
Yeah.
that Sam kept in, which
Yeah.
I don't know about. I'm a little iffy on it. I guess Sam has to keep in some removal to be able to answer things like snaps and colonnades.
The Angel token too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Push is probably his best answer in the deck against all of those things. Like obviously, it doesn't do anything against Geist, but you need something.
So here we go. Sam
Oof.
still going.
Woof, going in.
This is tough because Nick plays 4 Lightning Helix, the ultimate race changer.
I think Sam just has another answer for this Geist though. I think he's pretty confident in it.
With negate backup too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Sam's hand, Felidar, negate, Fatal Push, and the 4th card, I'm not sure about.
I'm not sure. He's flicking his cards around quite vehemently.
The Kibler.
Yeah, the good old Kibler. I have a lot of the Kibler in me. I do that.
I played against Kibler for the first time ever at his return back to Magic, and I was hypnotized. I have to admit, I punted the match because I was just staring at his cards. I couldn't deal with it.
Oh, we have a activated Shambling Vent.
Okay.
Yep.
Before blocks.
Before blocks.
Yeah,
kill your Shambling
that
Vent.
cannot happen.
That's pretty good.
That cannot happen. 1 mana LD is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Now the Kolaghan's Command still in Sam's hand. That's of course the 4th card that we forgot about. He doesn't have the mana for it unless he taps the Shambling Vents right now. There's no black mana hiding in those shiny lands.
That will lock him off of casting this negate in his hand, though.
It's true.
I think he's thinking about the risk reward of that at the moment.
Yeah, decision point for Sam. He can either negate and fight over the Geist beatdown, or he can Kolaghan's Command and try and trade off with a Fulminator Mage, play like a slightly longer game style. He's deciding to fight right now this turn. Says Nick, bring it.
So he's going to say no. These cards are going to go to the bin, and then we're going to see, because it looks like Nick has a snap, so we can let all of this, the stack resolve, And then before blocks, Nick can go, all right, snap bolt. Or he can just cast this path in his hand.
That makes sense.
Also good. Not as good as a bolt on a land, but still pretty good. He's going to go black. He's going to Fatal Push the Angel token, which doesn't feel great, but is pretty decent in the current racing situation that Sam is in.
Yeah, I do believe life total is accurate. 16 life for Sam is kind of a lot. This is, of course, before combat damage resolves, so he'll be falling to at most 14, at least 10, which is still 2 attacks away, no matter how you slice it here.
Yeah.
So currently, Nickstar losing the race. Amazing to say that he's losing the race with his Geist and Helix, but it's true. So push resolves.
So
Looks like he's out of basic land, is Sam Lawrence.
that's okay. So it ended up being LD anyway. That is not that bad.
Yeah, this mana is so awkward for Sam Lawrence. He's a full 2 colored sources away from being able to go Kolagons and play the Falm. But
That's what happens when you play 4 colors. Sometimes your mana is just quite restricted. He's also been fetching around Nick's pressure by fetching basics, so his mana is more constricted in that regard.
Clutch draw for Sam here. Did you see it?
Oh no! What do you draw?
Lingering Souls.
Oh no! Oh god, that is so good.
So he's gonna go pre-combat Lingering Souls. Find out what Nickstar has to answer it. You see the little slump. Oh, Nick's little slump. But you know what? He's not out of it. He has a Helix and a Snap. So this is a potential 6 life point swing.
So he's gonna. Looks like he's gonna go snap.
This is surprising. What's he snapping?
Snap into Remand.
I don't
know.
Seems like he could have remanded the flashback version.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better.
But at the same time, if Sam chooses not to flash back, then
you could
trouble.
potentially hold up K command. He held up the mana for K command here, so that is an option. Oh. Thinking about it, looks like he's gonna go K command.
It's got to be Souls. I think Souls is better.
I think Souls is better. Yeah.
Nick without a Colonnade, pretty important to note.
Yeah, Colonnade, excellent at swinging races like this. Okay, so he's just gonna go for the Souls here.
Pre-combat makes sense. Want to make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah, and then swinging for 4, put you to 4, and then give you very little time for outs. So Nick looks at his hand. We see a Helix, we see some lands. He's just going to go in. I think the line here is just go block Snap, block Angel.
Prevent the most amount of
Yeah,
damage.
just prevent the most amount of damage. I don't think you want to try to kill the Geist here. It doesn't really do anything. So I think you're already in a very commanding spot for the race, especially with a potential flashback Souls next turn.
Yeah, this is true. 2 more chump blockers. This is a tight race here. It looks like Sam is really far ahead in the race, but Lightning Helix is a card that, like we were saying earlier, just completely reverses any kind of damage race. 6-point life swing for 2 mana is huge.
Yeah, with the life gain being actually, strangely enough, the most important part of it right now. All right, so he is going to go block.
Yep.
Trade with Snap, lose by doing the Angel. Helix you at sorcery speed. Nick has learned from his mistakes.
Yeah, he has.
Put it back and pass the turn.
Yep, Nick up to 7. He's going to need some help here, though, because even with the 3 life point swing, he's still behind in the race.
Yeah. Sam down to what I believe is... Yeah.
Should be 9, I think, for Sam Lawrence.
Should be? Yeah, I think so.
So Nick at 7, Sam at 9. This is a tight race, but Nick is on a 2-turn clock, and I don't believe he has any answers to the Spirit Tokens right now.
Yeah. I doubt Nick sided in his angers.
No, that seems terrible.
Yeah, it seems not that great. Especially not knowing that that Sam is on Lingering Souls, because it's a post-board card.
Three mana. Sure does look like K command to me.
I would agree with that statement. he's just trying to figure out what he wants to tap for it.
Yeah. His mana looks great, but is not. I promise you, it's not.
No, it is not. Right, so he's going to go with a Spreading Seas to start it off. Going to cantrip, see what he finds.
Yep, putting it on a white source, it looks like.
Makes sense. Nick is currently on only one white source outside of that, and it would require him to fetch to find another one, putting Nick a little bit lower, a little bit closer to dying to these souls.
So Sam again will just walk into Mana Leak. If Nick has it, which he doesn't. Now Nick only plays 2 Mana Leaks, so it's not like it's not a 4 of, but it's still sketchy. He could have easily cast that before he cast the Spreading Seas.
So 4 souls. Ooh. So he's thinking about what he wants to do. Okay, so he's gonna play another Spreading Seas. Oh, okay. Hit that red source. I don't know about that. I probably would have hit the Sacred Foundry. Just keep consistency with shutting off white mana.
Sure.
Yeah.
So 6 Souls tokens in play. 4 are going to attack. Drop Nick Star to 3. As long as Sam can untap with 3 tokens, he threatens lethal. What does he draw?
I don't think it's anything that's going to help here. So there's just a swing in. I think the only conceivable way Nick wins this turn is a no blocks into a bolt with no answer, which I highly doubt that happens here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely.
Yeah, so he's just gonna do a quick block on that angel, take 2, go to 7.
Yeah, 7, pretty safe life total here.
And so Nick, though not scooping it up, he's gonna play it out. He's gonna make him attack him with those souls.
Come on, Blessed Alliance, Nick. That would be sick.
Oh, that'd be great. What is this? What is this? Oh, nothing. Just a luck nut.
Sam Lawrence breathes a sigh of relief after that tap for 6. Wow, that was scary even for us here.
Yeah, that.
Jeez. So congrats to Sam, one of the first people to defeat Nick Star in quite a while. Nick's last loss coming in the finals of Titanium in June.
Yes, against good old Volcano Ray on Mono Red Prison.
Yep. A deck which I picked up after seeing him win. I love the prison decks, man. Oh, so good. Chalice on 1 feels so good.
I have been playing a lot of Chalice on 1 recently. I've been playing the Eldrazi deck, and
yeah.
Oh man, Chalice on 1 feels spectacular every time. Just staring at your opponent with like 5 cards in hand and them not casting anything
like,
every turn.
Flick, flick. That's when the Giblet flick comes out. Like,
yeah, there's
this guy.
I can't. So take 5 from your Smasher. Yes.
Love it. Bring it. Chalice now, I think, the most expensive card in Modern.
Yeah, I think it has surpassed Termagoyf and Liliana after their Modern Master printings, and the fact that we haven't seen Chalice since Modern Masters 1 has just keeps going up. Very powerful card.
It's crazy. It's like Modern as a format, monetarily, is such a guessing game, right? Because they release these master sets, they reprint cards, there are judge promos, all this stuff.
Yeah, stuff gets stuck in Commander products.
Yeah, you have to kind of play hot potato with your cards.
Yeah. Remember when Scavenging Ooze was this $40 card, and then it was a $5 card?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, I love what they're doing though, because it means you can no longer speculate. It means that the Magic market is no longer beholden.
The Magic market is very difficult to speculate now. I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this who does investments in things like trading cards and video games.
Sure, yeah.
And it's nigh impossible to speculate right now outside of like Alpha, Beta, and Expeditions.
Reserve list cards, right?
Yeah, like Reserve List and Expeditions because of their low print quantity. Because with Expeditions, normal boxes have been opened considerably more than they used to be. So you just have like this wealth of commons and uncommons. And we have poor Nick Star walking by saying, I can't beat Lingering Souls.
I'm not going to call him poor Nick. He's a big winner in Titanium, the winningest player ever.
He has the best record right now.
We'll see if he can come back.
I have faith in Nick. I'm sure he can pull at least a 5-3 out of this event. At base.
Game one, or I should say round 1, game 1 is a spot where a lot of players are rusty. Like my best friend growing up, Joe Schmidt, he was known. He was played so bad in round 1 every single turn. He would always lose round 1, and by the end of the event, he would at least go 6-2 every single time. It's like, man, why don't you just wake up an hour earlier? Like, play test with me an hour, but no.
Have some coffee, something.
Yeah,
like
exactly, man. Caffeine exists. But we have Sam Lawrence here. He is walking around like, man, how did I win that match?
Just dazed and confused.
I'd be surprised too. I mean,
Yeah.
that is a tough matchup. Like, you have all the white instants, you have the red instants. But yeah, we're going to pull Sam into the booth real quick here to ask him about his deck.
Yeah.
You want to step out and get the next one?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Let's pull Sam in. What's up, man?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm Zach. How's it
Sam.
going?
Nice to meet you.
Dylan was singing your praises, man. He says you're kind of a local to his area.
Yep.
That's awesome. What's your store?
Blackland Games
Cool.
in West Lebanon, New Hampshire.
West. I can't say I've ever been to West Lebanon, New Hampshire.
Just a small town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's all
Good
right.
group of guys though.
I grew up in a small town. You wouldn't know mine if I told you. Wilbraham, Mass. Talk to me about your deck. Your
All right.
Jeskai deck.
So I've been trying Jeskai Saheeli versions for a while. Like I played 4-color with like green in it.
Wow. Okay.
That didn't work out. I had Traverse. I tried straight Jeskai for a week, and honestly, like I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I really like the card Lingering Souls,
Oh.
and that
I can
card's
see
pretty
why.
good. Fatal Push, Kolaghan's Command,
Yeah.
those kind of cards. So I had the black. So it's more like an Esper deck now,
Okay.
with the red for like Kolaghan's Command and the Saheeli. So I really like that. Overall, it just feels better than Jeskai.
Yeah, like I saw you playing the deck, and I'm like, wow, Fulminator Mage is so good here. Wow, Kolaghan's Command getting back Fulminator. This is so
all
awesome.
value.
Yeah.
Then you have Spreading Seas to flicker with Feldar Guardian
Oh, that's right.
for the big mana matchups.
We
for
were
sure.
looking, we were like, he actually doesn't have that much to combo with his Felidar Guardian for value. It's like Snapcaster's the only thing. And I'm like, oh, Spreading Seas.
Yep. And Vanillion Click sometimes too. If you're
Okay.
playing against like Storm or Ad Nauseam, you
That's
can
the
just flicker
dream
that.
right there.
Yeah.
Wow. At the end of the turn 3, when you cast Vendilion, I thought to myself, this is how he wins. He plays like a control game where he looks at the hand. He doesn't. Do you often win just going for the combo?
So it depends on the matchup. If I'm playing against like a Obzon deck or a grindy matchup,
Yeah.
usually you can't really combo unless
Sure.
you like Vendilion Click them out of their removal. So that's why there's cards like Lingering Souls and etc. But against matchups like Titan Shift or Tron, usually like
Okay.
you really have to go for the combo. So it depends on the matchup.
Okay, this makes sense. It kind of gives you like an inevitability, like a way to be broken,
Yeah.
kind of thing. It seems like you need that in modern,
Yeah,
at
for
least
sure.
a little bit. Is this deck of your own devising?
So I took some lists of Jeskai online. There is no like Jeskai Black Saheeli deck online, so I really wanted to do that. I'm kind of known at my local store for playing like 4-color, Spreading Seas, like
Yeah, you're saying that.
weird decks. So I kind of put my own spin on it.
That's really cool, man. I'm excited to have you here. Do you think you're going to do well? Like, what's your
hoping,
best and
yeah.
worst matchup?
So my best matchups are probably decks I can't interact with a combo.
Okay. Like Tron.
Like
you're saying.
Tron,
Yeah.
for example. Any like green-based deck, like Company decks, are usually pretty good because I have a lot of removal and snap, etc. My worst matchups, probably the Esper version of Death Shadow is really bad. Dredge is horrible. I didn't even put any sideboard cards for it because it's so bad. So I'm just trying to dodge that deck today.
You have to gamble. I mean, like Modern is so wide that
Yeah,
you're going to lose to something, right?
for sure.
Cool, man. I hope you win. I hope we keep seeing you on camera because this deck's really cool.
Thanks.
I'm looking for a new deck to play, a deck that's not a prison strategy, and this still has enough combo for me, so I might try
Yeah,
and
it's a lot
put
of
this
fun.
together.
All right.
If you have any questions for Sam, hit him up on Facebook.
Yeah. All right.
Sam.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
talking. All right, guys, that was round 1 in the books in Titanium. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Zach Hall, joined by Dylan Plord. If you if you don't know, if you just kind of stumbled upon this Twitch stream, if you're like friends with Dylan on Facebook and you're like, I don't even remember who this guy is, and you click the link and see him.
Everyone knows who I am. I'm very important.
Yeah, we'll let that one go. You're very important. Yep, completely
in my
agree.
mind.
Hey. This is the Titanium series. This is hosted by Tom Shea, TJ Collectibles. This is a series where you qualify for the Titanium Finals next year, cash tournament. You don't have to listen to him.
I have to listen to Nick.
He just lost and punted game 1. You don't have to listen to him.
I should have killed it, and I know it.
Yeah, you should have killed it.
I
And
should
you
have
know
killed
it.
it, but I was like, I don't know if he has it.
If
So
you're Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, the one down vote gonna be Nick Starr.
Most winning player on the tour, though. So
Yeah.
invite me.
Okay. Maybe not after this event, buddy.
Maybe not after this event, but I've still got the first. I've got my invite. What do I share?
You care about
for a
you.
pie.
You care about money.
I care about money. That's why I come.
Yeah. So
True that.
he's already qualified for the Titanium Finals. He's gonna be there. You're gonna be there. And 2 people in this room will be there too after they qualify. The winner of this event and the runner-up of this event. The winner of this event actually going to get a 1-round bye in the tournament.
Yeah.
Which, a 1-round bye in a 24-person tournament, come on, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's gonna be this. Is that 5 or 6?
It'll probably be more rounds just because
Yeah, probably 6.
a
6
simple
rounds.
Swiss doesn't make sense. Maybe
Yeah.
like a triple elimination. I don't know exactly how we're going to run it. We have a lot of time to figure that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do it, and I'm quite interested to see how it turns out.
Like the old invitational system, the Magic Invitational did 16 players round robin, everyone plays each other once. We're gonna have too many people to do that. That'd be a 23-round tournament.
Yeah, I don't have 23 rounds to devote to a Magic tournament. I just it's
yeah,
not in me.
Yeah, you do.
Uh,
Yeah, you do.
Probably.
Yeah, you do. Anyone who's friends with you on Facebook, yeah, you do.
Hey man, sometimes I post about collecting video games, not just Magic.
Okay, fair enough. Segue, perfect, smooth transition. The prize wall here at TJ's has some video games you can buy.
It does.
As in addition to Magic Swag, we actually made a point to include not only booster packs, not only play mats, not only that stuff that you normally see on other prize walls. We have stuff like messenger bags and water bottles and things that are useful outside of Magic, which is so rare on the prize walls.
There's a lot on that prize wall that I haven't seen on a lot of other prize
Yeah.
walls. There's actual good singles. Like you've got expeditions, you've got Termaglyphs,
Nice.
you've got things that you would actually want for your decks. I saw things like the Judge foil lands, the Therese Nielsen foil lands. There's booster packs from all across Magic, not just a bunch of 10-tick garbage packs from the recent sets. You can really save up from these side events around here, and all the PPTQs paying out in tickets.
Nice. We are definitely going to crack a Dissension booster pack on screen. I'm
down.
going to open a foil breeding pool. You
I'm down.
heard it here. Foil Hallowed Fountain, I'm ripping it up. You heard it here.
Okay, yeah,
I'm going to do it.
I'll get right in on that.
I really hope I don't. now that I said that.
It'll hurt me inside, but if it's for the people,
Yeah.
I'm down.
And I'm a little biased, yeah. I mean, I'm employed by TJ Collectibles. I'm biased. But I think that this prize wall is the best prize wall I've ever seen.
I would agree. I would honestly agree. I've been to a lot of GPs. I've been to a lot of events with prize wall style prizing. This is the best one I've ever seen for quality of items and variety of items.
Yeah.
It has something for everyone, and you will turn your tickets in, and you will get something you want.
Exactly. Like 3 months ago, I'm talking to Tom on Facebook. He's saying, he's talking about the prize wall. He's talking about the updated prize wall.
Yeah.
He's talking about the items he's getting. He's talking about more items he's getting. I'm just like, Tom, it's a prize wall. Put your extra stuff on there. Put the boxes you don't want. Put the play mats you don't want. But he said, no. A prize wall is why people come to tournaments. It's a big, big draw. And it shows. Because you can get Onslaught booster packs. You can get foil polluted deltas in their original printing up there. Which is pretty cool.
That's gorgeous. I remember buying original polluted deltas before the ban. I'm sorry, not before the ban, before the reprint.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And spending like $80 each to complete this Tesserator deck. I mean, but the Underground Seas were like $175, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, that's the thing about Magic. It's like we all have those moments where we're like, man, why did I sell my foil? Whatever.
Yeah.
Why did I buy this card and it got reprinted? But it's a guessing game. It's like, yeah, if you could sell everything at its peak and buy everything at its trough, yeah, you'd be rich and
you would be a savant like Esper, and you'd know what the lottery numbers are, and
you'd be a day trader.
You'd become the president of the world because you know exactly what to say to everyone on the planet. Like you could be an infinite genius, but only in your fan fiction.
Yeah, it's true.
Not in real life.
Magic, you buy the cards you want to play with, you trade with the cards you want to play with.
Yeah, I don't actually think there's anything wrong with selling cards. I'm a big proponent of sell out anything you're not playing, because I'm just not interested in sitting in the speculation market anymore. I'm not interested in sitting on my cards and watching them go down, up, down.
Yeah,
up.
it's burned me too.
Yeah,
trying to do that kind
especially
of thing.
when you're buying stuff like, because with standard cards, 90% of it's going to drop, right? there is the 10% that's going to uptick, and some of it's going to uptick harder than others over time. But most cards just not going to be worth much in the long term.
I traded for a foil collector Brutality when it was $10 or $12, but that's the only trade I've made for a standard card that has panned out.
What's it at now?
Like $40, $50.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not bad. But that's why Modern's the best format, right? Because these cards are pretty much going to stay where they're at or go up.
Yeah.
They're not really going to. I mean, hell, look at Sword of the Meek. We were talking about Sword of the Meek last night. That's still like an $8 or $10 card, and it's not played.
Nowhere.
Because
not a single
Modern,
person.
yeah, Modern is amazing. Everyone has a Modern deck. Everyone wants to brew new Modern decks, which I am fully in support of. We were talking to Elliot Raff earlier, who has a spectacular lands deck that he really wants us to feature with like Magmatic Insight and Commune with the Gods. And
man,
crazy stuff.
That's wild.
Yeah. So we're gonna get that on camera. If he starts winning, Elliot, you lost round 1. Get your act together, buddy.
Come on. I want to be able to feature you in a round 7.
Yeah.
Playing for top 8.
Elliot.
You can do it. Elliot, do not play into the old stereotype of judges not being able to play Magic.
I mean, that's why you're here, right?
I don't want to talk about it.
You could have played.
I mean, I could have, but I like this one. I like talking to all of you at home and talking about all these great games and these great players.
We have a lot of Titanium winners in the building. We have Keith Wrong. We have Sam Richardson. I know Ed Hinton is in the house. We're definitely going to feature some of these guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I see pairings for round 2 going up, so we're going to have that shortly for you. And if there's any kind of deck that you want to see, I'm talking directly to you, listener, tell us in the chat. Hit us up on Twitter or Facebook, but mostly the chat. We got Gil, our logistics guy, our judge. He does it all, really. He's going to be he's our table judge right now. He's moderating the chat. If you want to see anything specific, tell him. He'll tell us. We'll pick it. We'll show it. You'll thank us.
Don't tell us on the YouTube comments, though. Well, it'll be a little too late. Smash that like button, though. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the account. Comment. Subscribe.
I've always wondered, how do you smash a button that's on a screen?
Okay, you take your mouse and you go.
This breaks the mouse.
No. Mice are more durable than you would think. The problem is the ricochet of the mouse on the screen, because sometimes it won't click the mouse button because you're hitting it so hard that it just clicks the close page instead, and you have to find that video again, do your history, and it's just.
Yeah, I've always wondered that with the words. Smash the like button. Smash the like button.
Smash it.
Let's come up with another verb for this. Caress the like button.
Vehemently click the like button.
Gently massage the like button. No,
I like it. I like it.
We're gonna come up with a few different ones today.
We'll figure it out.
Massage the like button. I like that.
TJ Collectibles on YouTube. Subscribe for more Magic content you could possibly imagine. Every month a challenge.
Yep.
Every quarter a plus event. Legacy, Modern, all the formats you actually care about.
Without saying their names, we don't. I mean, they're in the room. We don't want to hurt their standard. We don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
You know.
Either works more.
Yeah, right. I opened that in a Kaladesh booster pack after the bannings. Straight ripped it up.
What, just a ripped pack? You weren't drafting?
You
ripped packs?
I was cracking the pack, trying to open an Aviary Mechanic for my standard deck.
Who are you?
I didn't open it. We opened 5 booster packs. I opened 2 Mythics, one of which was Marvel, one of which was unplayable. It was a sad time for me.
You don't know. Maybe they'll try to make it work in Modern. We just saw the cat on camera last round.
Is it true?
It's possible. Energy is a pretty good mechanic.
Maybe never to be printed again, though.
Probably. I don't think they will ever print Energy again.
I think they will. I think they'll have learned their lesson and actually make a card that removes energy or punishes you for having a bunch of energy.
The fact that we have gone 4 sets out from energy dropping and not seen a single card that says remove all energy from target player's energy pool is insane.
Well, you can't just like make a card that references energy in the block that has no energy, right? That's a little goofy. I
think I would have anyway.
I mean,
said remove all counters from target player.
Solemnity is clearly like what they intended, right? They're like, oh god, we gotta put something. Solemnity, we'll put Solemnity in, but it's obviously not very good.
It's not good enough.
Not in standard.
Yeah.
So what do we have?
All right, what do we have for this round? Looks like we have Eldrazi Tron,
Sure. Who's playing?
Trevor Hayden.
Okay, and I have Tom Smiley.
Ooh, Tom Smiley.
Hey, this is interesting. We have like a
Tribal
red-black Death Shadow deck.
Ooh, wait, red black? Oh my
Well,
goodness.
okay, Jund Death Shadow. Jund Death Shadow.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's got the standards like the Street Wraiths and these things to hurt himself, but he also has Tribal Flames and one of each basic land type. So he wants to cast or tap 2 mana,
I love
cast a
Tribal
sorcery,
Flames.
deal 5 damage to his
I am such a fan of Tribal Flames. It's the card, the unsung hero of Modern. The card that like you don't see that much, but when you see it, you're like, whoa.
I
He
love
just
the
lava
decks.
axed him for 2.
I love the decks. So it was like Boros Swiftspear decks with Double Strike that tried to Might of Alara and then Tribal Flames. That first iteration of those Tribal Zoo decks were so goofy, and I loved them. Now you just tap 2 and cast an 8/9 Tarmogoyf. A little better.
Yeah.
A little better.
Tribal Flames you, snap Tribal Flames you. Not bad. All right, so it looks like we're going to our feature match. There is Trevor Hayden and Tom Smiley across from him with a very unique version of Death Shadow.
Yeah, I kind of like it because the Grixis versions have been getting hated on recently. Like, people have been building their deck with that Grixis Shadow deck in mind. They've been tuning their deck to beat that.
Yeah, so you gotta start innovating. You gotta start changing things.
Exactly. They're like, oh, I got Rest in Pieces for the Delve creatures. I have this, I have that.
Yeah. So a problem I'm seeing though, Eldrazi Tron, 4 Chalice.
Yeah, we're talking up this this like Tribal Flames Death Shadow deck, and it's so cool and all, but yeah, Chalice is such a beating.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous magic card.
Yeah, what are the number of cards that get countered by Chalice in this deck on one? So we have Death Shadow, Wild Nacatl, Goblin Guide, Monastery Swiftspear, Lightning Bolt. Let's see.
Boros Charm, how interesting.
Ooh, wow, he's just going deep. He just wants to Boros Charm me.
Oh god, he
make
could.
my Death Shadow bigger.
He
oh
actually
no. Yeah. Oh, ooh, wow, he's a Claim to Fame in his deck. That is
Yeah, a little Hour of Devastation hotness.
wow, that's cool. Yeah, so the vast majority of Trevor's threats, of Tom's threats, get countered by Chalice. So the fact that Tom looks like he won the die roll here, quite good.
Whoa.
Quite good for him. As you can see, the round timer is quite large.
It has to be at the forefront of these players' minds. You have to play with the round time. Oh, it's gone.
It's a good point, though.
Is it? Is it really?
It is. No, it's a good point. A lot of players don't think about time and playing efficiently. And I've seen more matches go to an unreasonable level of time, like 5 minutes before end or going to time, when reasonably based on the matchup, it shouldn't have ever happened. There's something to be said about being able to manage your time efficiently.
Yeah, it's a skill. There's a site, it's like MTG Stats, I believe, that tracks players' streaks without an unintentional draw. And Owen Turtenwald is the most. He has like 1,400 straight matches without an unintentional draw.
Yeah, that sounds like him. So we saw a turn 1 Nacatl out of Thomas, and then Trevor played a turn 1 Urza's Power Plant and said pass.
Yep.
I know these lands arts by heart. I'm a big Tron guy. I played green X Tron for 5 years straight. No other modern deck. Okay, that's not true. I played some other modern decks during Eldrazi Winter because there was literally you could not play any big mana deck that wasn't an Eldrazi deck. But interesting thing here is that we see a Eldrazi Temple plus Chalice in Trevor Hayden's hand.
Yeah,
So
but
he's
will it be fast enough?
That is the question, because I don't think it will.
Yeah, this is a pretty sick start. I mean, he has a turn 1 3/3 and a turn 2 2/2 haste, and it looks like he might even have another spell. This
might
fetch
have a
could either
Swift
be
Spear or another Goblin.
yeah,
Guide.
the fetch could just be to pump Nacatl, but it looks like it's.
Oh no!
Look at this. Attack for turn 2. You have 1 land. Yeah, attack for 7. Drop you 13.
1 trigger, Thought-Knot Seer, trigger 2 Thought-Knot Seer. This is not going to go well for Trevor Hayden.
No.
Weirdly enough, losing the die roll was the worst possible thing that could have happened to him here.
Yeah.
It would have just been a Nicodle, and then slam Chalice on one, and then Thomas's hand's dead.
Yeah, exactly. He'd have just a 3/3.
Yeah, but in its current iteration, he's getting absolutely slammered by these creatures.
Street Wraith Cycles. That doesn't have a converted mana cost. He can do it.
Attacks and triggers.
Goblin Guides, trigger. Let's see what he flips. It is another Thought-Knot
Another
Seer.
Thought-Knot Seer.
Yeah, but Trevor is at 6. I mean, even if he makes...
Oh, my.
Now, it's on Trevor to counter this. Trevor, if Trevor doesn't point out his
Trevor
trigger,
doesn't
it's
point out
countered.
his trigger. Oh, jeez.
Unclear if he did there. We'll find out from our table judge.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think he just went to adjust his life total.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
That's trouble with Chalice. Now, I played Prison Deck in PPTQ. I missed multiple Chalice triggers. And there we see Tom takes it down. But Chalice is such a hard card to play when it's on your own side of the board because you have to remember every single time. And if you miss once, that could be the game.
Yeah, that's the thing that really sucks about Chalice is that you can't ever miss one of your triggers on it.
Right.
But you can miss a trigger when your opponent's casting a spell anytime you want. It requires a lot of forethought and a lot of presence of mind and paying attention to the game. I've played a lot of Chalices over the last few weeks and had to be constantly mindful of what I have in play. When I have a Chalice on 1 and 2 in play, when I have a Chalice on 0 against Affinity, I have to always remember, because I had a match with Affinity where they went attempt to cast a 0 drop every turn to see if I forget, and every time I was like, trigger.
It's really difficult.
Yeah.
So here we go. So that was a 4-minute game.
Yep, that was that's the power of a Goblin Guide right there.
But hey, this is why we have backup matches. And once this match is over, for those of you at home, we'll have Joe Horton versus Steve Henning.
Oh wow, Joe Horton versus Steve Henning. That is a match. So Joe Horton, spectacular local player. He's been on the circuit before, top 4 of the previous Plus event. One of our youngest players. And he's versus Steve Henning, former Pro Tour alumni. Steve's a very good friend of mine. Came to my house warming. Great dude. And Steve is on Black-Red Burn right now. While Joe is on Red-White Burn.
All right, we'll see if we get there. We got to get through this match first here. This is well, if it's Burn versus Burn, and this is Death Shadows
we might not get to it.
We'll see. We'll see. I definitely like Trevor's chances on the play, though. Like you said, he has the Chalices. Those are pretty sick. He can't play them turn 1. He's not playing a Simian Spirit Guide version. But turn 2 is pretty good when it's on the play.
It does require him to not miss his triggers again, though. That's a big deal.
I'm sure he realized after the game. He's like, oh, wait, I have Chalice.
Yeah. So it looks like, post board, what do we have here? So we've got, actually not a lot out of the Eldrazi deck to bring in. He has Wormcoil Engine, Basilisk's Collar. I think that's about it. He could bring in some Hangerback Walkers. Actually, Hangerback Walker's pretty good. That's 2 blockers, at least. That's not bad.
Yeah, I like the Hangerback a lot.
Yep.
Wormcoil, Basilisk, those are good, but they're only one-ofs. That's not huge.
Oh, he has Ratchet Bomb in his sideboard? That's a good one. That's
that might be that at least cleans up the 1-drops that have slipped through.
Yeah, that's a good one. Out of Zoo, what do we have?
Yeah, not a whole lot, to be honest. Maybe another Risefall if you want it.
We got Grudge. Ancient Grudge is good.
Yeah, 1 Grudge. Really, though, Thomas did not prepare for this matchup, as I see very few cards in his sideboard that are really keyed towards Eldrazi-Tron. Because really, how do you hate out colorless creatures? They're not artifacts.
Yeah, he can bring in Stony Silence. It's decent. Not spectacular, but okay. Thalia's fine. Gaddock Teeg, you would think Gaddock Teeg would be good against a deck that's trying to go big mana, but Gaddock Teeg does not say big creatures. It says big spells.
Right. It stops the Owl's Dust, which isn't good against you anyway.
Yeah,
It stops the Karn, which isn't good against you anyway.
Yeah, Owl's Dust is only good against you on turn 3. If you are able to go turn 1 map, turn 2 crack, turn 3 Owl's Dust. That is the only way that you can efficiently play that card in this matchup.
Not a bad plan, but
it's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, and there's some other ways you could go, like maybe play Hangerback Walker, maybe play Matter Reshaper, get some blocks in, but it's not hyper efficient.
So here we go. Most players' decks staying pretty similar. They're both just trying to do their own thing, like so often happens in Modern. Two linear decks trying to do their own thing, not really caring what the other person does.
With a reasonable amount of interaction. A slight bit of interaction on the Death Shadow Zoo, and most aggro decks don't really try to interact too heavily with their opponent. But on the side of Eldrazi Tron, has some built-in interaction in the way of Chalice and some removal spells.
Yep.
But still just trying to go big or go home. The spectacular thing about the Eldrazi Tron deck I found is that you can fetch with your maps in any situation positively, right? Because if you're low on the number of Tron lands you have, like say you only have one Tron land in hand, and you have like another Tron land or something, like the same one, instead of fetching for your third Tron land with your maps, you can just go, all right, fetch with my map, and go find a temple, and then efficiently play your Eldrazi out.
Temple can be better than the third Tron piece sometimes.
Or they're trying to hit you with like Spreading Seas and like Ghost Quarter on your Tron lands. Oh, I'm thinking about the things that allow you to still keep lands.
Yeah.
So they go like Ghost Quarter you, and you go, okay, find my waste, untap, play my my temple, tap, cast this Thought-Knot Seer, and they're just like, oh no, and it didn't matter anyway.
No
okay,
Chalice.
so we have no Chalice on turn 2, not good at all for him.
He's
And
threatening turn 3 Tron though. That's pretty powerful.
that is quite good. And here's the thing: I see a Karn in his hand. That is not great here. Karn is literally just becomes removal spell, fog 3 damage.
Yeah, welcome to Modern, where turn 3 Karn is not good here.
Yeah, I felt that a lot. One of the most sided out cards in Tron that I found was Karn.
Huh.
Yeah, a lot of people say, well, that's the mainstay of the deck. No. Wormcoil was the mainstay of that deck.
It's a lot better in this matchup, that's for sure. So Trevor opens on map, another Tron piece threatening to get 7 mana, while Tom has a pair of 1-drops, dropping his opponent to 16, playing another Nacatl.
Wow.
So 7 power on the board for Tom.
So an All Is Dust needs to be found very quickly.
That'd be really good right now.
Yeah, he needs to find one of his 2 All Is Dust, or he is in a world of hurt. You could also find a Walking Ballista. Oh, actually, that's not even very good. He can play Walking Ballista for 3, block, and then shoot.
That's okay. I mean,
But Thomas Smiley is playing pump spells. He is playing.
yeah, that is pretty bad.
He is playing Apostle's Blessing. He's playing Might of Alara. So he is.
That's scary, actually, huh?
There is a lot of risk to going shoot your guy, especially if you put all 3 triggers on the stack at once. I guess it doesn't really matter either or.
Yep. So
you put all 3 triggers on the stack at once, and he goes counter it with pump spell. It doesn't. It's the same as losing it to trigger, then trigger, then trigger.
Okay, so this is fine. It's not ideal, right? It's not All Is Dust, but this Karn liberated from Trevor Hayden.
It is a kill a guy fog 3, which
Yeah.
isn't terrible on this current board.
That's basically Lightning Helix, is what he just did for 7 mana.
Yeah, 7 mana Lightning Helix, colorless Lightning Helix.
But that's like pretty good. Well, you can look at it that way. You can also look at it turn 3. He spent his turn 3 Lightning Helixing, which is a lot more reasonable and fine, and actively good even in this matchup. So, not your best use of Karn, but hey, he's going to untap with at least 8 mana next turn.
That's what it's got to be. I probably would have sided out the Karns in this matchup. That would have been on his side out. That's one of the first things that I look at. It's like Relics.
Relics pretty well.
Yeah,
Relic
Relics-
gets Goyf though too. Not the worst.
Yeah, but that's pretty fringe comparatively.
So let's see what Tom does here. He has 4 power right now. His opponent's at 16. A Tribal Flame, or rather a Might of Alara, represents 4 damage, so it's pretty hard to come up with a way to kill your opponent this turn. In fact, I don't think he can. He's not playing Temur Battle Rage, which is kind of a notable exclusion from his deck list, isn't it?
His deck list is quite it's quite consistent as for in what he's playing in 4-ofs. He's not trying to get cute with the Become Immense Temur Battle Rage combo.
Yeah, Become Immense not banned. A lot of people think that card got banned.
It basically got banned.
Yeah.
The banning of Taxing Pro banned it.
Yeah.
It's not good anymore. So
There were plenty of games though where the guy, the player didn't draw a Taxing Probe, and Become Immense was still a fine card. So it's like,
the problem is that Infect can't really play without having that additional information of being able to know when the coast is clear and being able to know what to play around. That's why Infect, you've really seen Infect fall by the wayside for that reason. And Death Shadow is it's a natural predator. We have a Might of Alara on this
Yeah.
Swift Spear.
That's +6/+6.
Whoop. So
7 + 3 is 10. Should drop Trevor Hayden to 6. Travel Flames with. Oh, okay. He does. He does hit.
Yeah,
hard.
he's going for the card.
That makes sense.
And then we have a Death Shadow. A 2/2 Death Shadow.
2/2 Death Shadow. So Tom is threatening lethal next turn. Presumably, not quite on the board yet, but effectively lethal.
So Trevor needs a flurry of creatures as blockers, or he needs an All Dust, or he needs to scoop his cards out. Those are his 3 options here.
Hangerback Walker's pretty good. I see that peeking out. He could
That
spend
is-
a few mana on Hangerback and then play another spell.
Not bad. Certainly not bad. Oh, I just saw our other feature match, Stephen Henning walking away, defeating the masterful burn player that is good old Joseph. All right, so we start with the Chalice on 1, which doesn't do a whole lot here.
No, the threat's already in play.
Yeah, they're already out.
Chalice very late.
it stops Might of Alara, I guess. Chalice on 2, which also doesn't do anything. And then 3 mana Reshaper.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
if he can
All right.
survive this attack, it's looking pretty good because
Yeah.
right now Tom Smiley has 0 castable cards in his deck, or I should say 0 resolvable cards in his deck, except for Dismember and Street Wraith.
Yes, and
But-
I don't. He's a couple lands off from Street Wraith, and Dismember. Dismember's fine here, I guess, to kill the Mana Reshaper.
Yeah, Dismember's great here.
Oh, okay.
Dismember threatens lethal unless Trevor can flip a creature.
Yep. Trigger.
Let's see.
He takes 4. Trevor goes for trigger and flips a Wormcoil, which doesn't do it.
Ouch.
So
And-
that's lethal.
Dead.
Very lethal.
Handshake.
Handshake, and Thomas Smiley moves on to 2-0 here at the Titanium Series.
Yeah, congrats, Thomas. He earned that one. I mean, game 1 with the Chalice of the Void, he cast his spell knowing that he would probably get countered by Trevor, but you got to try.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Thomas did side in the Galactique.
Yeah, would have been good that game.
Yeah, certainly would have.
1 Modern Masters Stony Silence and 1 Innistrad Stony Silence. I have to say, Thomas, you had my respect. You had it. You had it for about 15 minutes, Thomas. Don't have it anymore. Joking, of course. But, yeah, that was pretty brutal, huh?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Eldrazi Tron matchups, I find, like, I watch the matchups, I watch the camera matches, and I'm like, wow, this deck looks really good, or it just gets run over and has no interaction. You're doing a really powerful thing, and you're doing it pretty well, but once your plan A doesn't work, what do you have to fall back on?
That's Tron, though. That's how Tron's always been. But we've just moved to a point where Tron's become so efficient that this is the best version of Tron that has ever existed.
You think so?
Yes, I believe this is the best version of Tron that's ever existed. It's in the best place it's ever been in the meta. Like there was a time at the end of Splinter Twin Standard where I think Modern that I think green red Tron was pretty close because you would crush everything else in the format. You crush actual everything else in the format, and then against Twin you lose game 1.
Yeah.
And then games 2 and 3, you destroy them because you side in 14 cards.
14 cards?
14 cards.
You're playing a colorless deck.
No. It was green. It was
Okay,
green red.
okay,
Yeah, it was
okay.
green red.
Fair
You sided in Boil. You sided in Rending Volley. You sided in Torf Orb. You told them to suck it. That's what they get. All right, so we have Thomas Smiley here to talk to us about his unique take on Death Shadow.
Yeah, he's not talking to us, he's talking to you.
Oh, well, he's talking to me.
Outstanding. Get in there, Tom. Thank you.
Oh, I'm a fat man.
Oh, God.
I don't want to screw up the TJ's background.
You can do it. Thomas Smiley.
Hey,
What up?
how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you doing? 2-0.
So yeah, it's a good morning this morning. I don't really get to play a lot of Modern, and I got the weekend off. My wife let me come play, so I figured I'd sleeve up some Death Shadow and come jam.
Is this a list that you've personally been cultivating for a while?
No, so like I said, I don't get to play Modern a lot, and I think the last time the last time I actually played Modern was in Open about a year ago that I ended up winning, and then haven't played Modern since. I pulled this list. It won the Classic last week and finished in the top 8 the week before, and I feel like it's so low to the ground that it can get under a lot of what Modern is trying to do right now. So even though my opponent had a turn 3 card on the play, plus Chalice on 1 and on 2, it just wasn't enough that game.
Yeah, no. It was really just the Dismember in game 2 that sealed the deal.
Yep.
Because he could have potentially dug back at that point, but you just locked him out. The missed Chalice trigger in game 1.
Yeah, so I had 3 1-drops in my hand at that point, and I figured I needed to do the Chalice check.
Yeah.
So in combat, after he was about to write down his life total, I mighted just to see what would happen. I didn't want to play another creature into it because I don't think I could with the mana that I had up. I actually misfetched that game, and it didn't cost me, but I tried to get another green source to play out a second Wild Nacatl, and had to go with the guide instead. Yep.
That's fine. So it's still beat him down.
Yep.
That's what
Yeah,
matters.
that's what the deck does.
Yeah, winning the die roll in game 1, that was just so big.
Yep. Being on the play with this deck, given the critical mass of 1-drops, just feels so overpowering because on turn 2, you could have 10 power on the board, and if your opponent doesn't have a turn 1 play, it's just really hard for them to catch back up. 2-mana sweepers like Pyroclasm don't really affect the deck. In fact, I play it in the sideboard because the only thing it kills is Goblin Guide.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can really hose Affinity and some other low to the ground decks in
Yep.
those kind of matchups.
So even though I don't get to play a ton of Modern, I figured Affinity was going to be a pretty big showing here because of its performance in Vegas and the fact that it has a really good Eldrazi-Tron matchup.
Yeah.
So Pyroclasm is a very good card against them.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
oh.
Any TJ's event is a blast. Always, I love coming to these.
Most definitely. Hope to see you in top 8.
Yeah.
A few short rounds from a few 6 hours from now.
Well, we'll see what happens. If not, I get to play Legacy, which is even better. So if I top 8, great. But there's Legacy tomorrow,
You
so
can still play Legacy tomorrow.
so you can.
Yeah. So how it works is if you make top 8,
Yep.
you get to play out top 8, and then you get buys into Legacy for whatever rounds you miss.
Outstanding. Now my day has gotten exponentially better. So thank you. Thank you for letting me know that.
Welcome.
All right.
All right.
Good to talk to you.
Good luck.
Thank you. I need it.
All right. So that was Thomas Smiley. Zach Hall coming on back.
All right.
All right.
This is
30
me.
minutes left to the round.
I am here.
My goodness.
Yeah,
That
mine
was
was pretty fast sometimes.
Yeah, that's what's great about Modern. The last Plus event, when I was playing Burn, I had all of one of my Swiss rounds go past 15 minutes. I had so much free time.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's pretty nice, especially if you're like a trader. You want to hit up the vendors. You want to play casual with your friends, play Death Modern,
We
whatever.
had a meal.
Yeah.
Just like,
I don't get to do that when I play Lantern. I don't get any meals, as it should be. If I'm playing a prison deck, it should be like I'm in prison.
yeah, you're not allowed to eat, enjoy yourself, use the bathroom, nothing.
I switched. I went to the Invitational in Virginia. I went 1-7 in the Modern portion. I immediately de-sleeved my Lantern deck. I took off both the double sleeves and the single sleeves.
You threw it in a garbage can where it belongs.
You know, I couldn't bring myself. I wanted to so bad, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Some of the Mox Opals weren't mine.
Oh, okay.
I foiled out a lot. I couldn't do it. I put it in my box. I built a red prison deck. I was telling you, I built Ray Karkman's red prison deck, which was really fun to play. Played it in a PPDQ. The highlight of which was for sure playing against Enduring Ideal, pretty much an auto lose matchup because all your cards like kill creatures or something. He has all these lock pieces in play, and it looks like I'm gonna lose. I use my Koth, gets suppression field, so I have to pay 2 to use my Koth. I like Exile Simian Spirit Guide, Desperate Ritual, pay 2 to use Koth, add 7 red mana to my mana pool, tap 7 red mana, Chalice of the Void on 7, X equals 7. He thinks, I can't beat that. Scoops up his card. We go to game 3. It was so sick. It was so much fun.
Oh my god. That's insane.
I just have to say achievement unlocked, because I don't think I've ever put a chalice on anything above 3. Because
Yeah.
who does that?
Yeah, why would you ever need to? Maybe 4, maybe.
Okay.
There's some situations where you might need that, but
If you ever get to that much mana. But that's a real deck. I played it at that PPTQ. I tested a little beforehand. That deck felt really good. Like, playing turn 1 Blood Moon or turn 1 Rabble Master felt really good.
Rabble Master is such a powerhouse card. Some of my best success in Magic has been with Rabble Master.
Yeah.
Rabble Master and Manus Rider, mind you, but Rabble Master.
Beastly card. It's like a one man army, 1 person army, 1 goblin army.
One goblin.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Goblin.
And it's like turn 1, sounds pretty unrealistic, but when you draw the Simian Spirit Guide, you have 5 or 6 ritual effects, like 2 mana Desperate or Pyretic ritual effects. You also have Gemstone Caverns, which is like when your deck plays all mountains and you can use your non-basic lands, your colorless land slots to do whatever you want. It turns out that 20 or 30% of games getting a free Mox Diamond is pretty damn good.
It's pretty good when you're trying to play Blood Moon as early as possible.
Turn 1 Blood Moon, turn 1 Mags of the Moon, turn 1 Rabble Master, turn 2 Chandra, Torch of Defiance. I did that a few times.
I remember the red-green aggro days of going turn 1 Mystic, turn 2 Rabble Master, and how on the play and how unreasonable that was.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like Pyroclasm or Bust, kinda.
Oh no! There was no Pyroclasm.
Well, sure, in the format.
No,
yeah.
they just took it. They took one and they died very quickly.
Yeah. Against the same opponent, the same Enduring Ideal opponent, I excel. Well, this was game. So the Chalice of the Void play was game 2. Game 1, I'm on the draw. I mulled to 4 because I know what he's playing. Because I just know I have so little chance. I have to just get something very specific to beat him. He has all these basic planes in his deck, so Blood Moon's no good. I mull to 4. I look at this hand like, wow, this is really good. He plays the land go. I go turn 1 Rabble Master. And I'm all to 4. Attack for 1. He goes, all right, land go. Maybe he plays something useless, right? Whatever. I think he played a Temple. Scryed to the bottom. I go, okay, untap, attack, put you in range.
Slam you for 6.
Yeah. Pretty good, right? I'm like, I'm feeling good about this. Play another land, say go. He untaps, land, Ghostly Prison. It's like,
No.
Ghostly Prison? Who plays Ghostly Prison? That guy. That guy.
Monsters play Ghostly Prison.
It was so frustrating. But you know what? I was 2-2, so it's not like I was really playing for all the glory.
Yeah,
It was a pride match.
You still get to attack for 2 every turn. And build up an army of tokens.
This is true. I never got to attack for more than 2 that game. He cast their Enduring Ideal. But that's the thing about Modern, right? Like, these old decks, these old decks from like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, just come back once a new card's printed.
Yeah.
Come back once.
Just reappear. When somebody, some good player decides, I want to play this deck.
Yeah,
And then
and
next
tunes
thing you
it.
know, everyone's playing this deck because it was still good, but
No one knew it.
No one knew.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like what people want Legacy to be. Like, people say, you can do whatever you want in Legacy. Not really true.
You can do whatever you want in Legacy, but that doesn't assure you're actually going to win games in Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy is just like, is so powerful, and Brainstorm and Fetch lands just hold it all
Brainstorm and
together.
Fetch Lands and Charbelcher and Doomsday. I mean, Doomsday's not as good
Doomsday's
anymore.
dead. Yeah.
No,
Sensei's Top Gun band?
Lee Curtis would like to disagree with you.
I don't know that person, but
he's a big. He pretty much runs the Magic community on TG.
okay.
Okay. But he's you'll know him by his entire Doomsday deck being white bordered, like acrylic removal white bordered.
I don't truck with that.
You
what,
chuck, you
what is that? No.
That's when you rub paint remover on your cards and make them white bordered.
Why would you do that?
Because you're an animal.
Oh,
It's
man.
this actual savage human being.
Why not like color them gold or something?
He white bordered a expedition Lotus Petal.
You know?
That one he had to shave off with a box cutter, like a razor. You can't acrylic those.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. Like, that's a one of a kind card, I guess.
Yeah.
I bet no one has a Lotus Petal that looks like that. But then again, like, my water damage Visions inspiration that was under my carpet for years. Like, no one has a card that looks like that either. That doesn't mean that's cool. Like, I was so happy to find that because it was like the first card I ever owned. I'm like, oh, it was under my mom's carpet this whole time. And now it's framed in my house.
I still remember the first deck I ever played. It was Mono White Kithkin.
Okay.
It was a pile. It was year one of college. I was going for an IT degree, and I hung out with all the losers in the cat.
Losers?
They were losers.
Losers?
They were losers.
They're listening right now.
They're not listening right now.
They might be.
They're
You
not.
don't
No.
know that. You're big time now, man. they're gonna comment on the Twitch channel. I'm listening right now.
I'm very offended by this.
Yeah.
I don't think this. But we were all losers at the time. And we would just, I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time.
Mm-hmm.
But people were like, oh, you should try Magic. It's really fun. I was like, Magic? That doesn't have the little anime characters on it, and I don't attack for 2,000. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
This format doesn't have degenerate. Every deck isn't a degenerate combo deck. I don't want that. Then I started playing, and I was like, wow, this is kind of fun.
This is way better.
And then I was handed a Boros aggro deck in the end of Mirrodin Innistrad Standard, and 5-0'd. I 5-0'd an FNM, and that FNM did top 8s. And then I proceeded to win through top 8. And
Nice.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was misplaying all over the place, but
Holding the trophy above your head.
The power of the deck just it pushed me through.
Hey,
you don't have to
every
be
player
good
in this room-
when you're lucky.
Every player in this room has had that one tournament, the one that hooked them on Magic, where they did better than expected, where they did something cool, where they did some crazy combo that they didn't even know existed when their really good opponent got really mad at losing to them and they got that rush, That's what's so cool about competitive Magic, is like everyone has that one thing that they can point to that says, this is why I started playing.
This is it. This is the reason. That was my reason. That was like the start of it. Of like, wow, this is really fun, and I'm winning at this. And then they stuck me in Legacy and Draft, and I had no idea what was going.
Yeah.
0-2.
It's tough to be a draft player at first, man. It's really tough.
I was just picking random cards.
Like this art's nice.
Yeah.
This is the same color. But yeah, we all have that starting tournament, that starting thing that happened. I remember for me, it was an Onslaught sealed deck against the best player in the store. It was like the player that won all the local tournaments. Really cool guy. He always had his sunglasses on his neck, just really stone-faced, and just crushed us all the time, me and my friend. So he beat me in the top 8. Like, I had a really good deck. He beat me in the top 8. But my friend Joe avenged me in the finals. He beat him for the first time. He beat Eric Ward for the first time. And at that moment, I knew that we were going to keep playing Magic. We were going to keep being competitive and try and win all the tournaments and all the good stuff.
And years later, multi-time Pro Tour
Still
alumni.
here. Okay, let's not talk about ancient history, all right?
How far back was that?
2006, 2007.
Okay, yeah,
That's
really,
ancient history.
That's,
You were 4 years old back then.
I was
right?
10.
Oh,
Oh, no. Wait, 7? Sorry. 13. I was 13 years old.
You were 4.
No, 93.
You told me you were 14.
93.
Oh, 24. 24, 14. To an old guy like me, it all feels
Yeah,
the same.
yeah,
So, you young kids nowadays and your fancy new borders.
With your Pokemon Go's and, and your My Tweets.
Love it, man. No, Magic hasn't changed that much. We still have these local stores with the best player, the enshrined best player, and it's like you want the stepping stone from the local store to the next level to bring it all back. That's kind of what the Titanium series is. It's like a stepping stone. You're crushing your FNMs. Come to an in-store TJ's Challenge. You get a lot of players. You get like 80, 90 players at these local tournaments, and they all want to win. Like, most of these players are playing competitive decks. They've tested. They have sideboards, which is more than you can say at some FNMs.
Yeah.
Sad but true. And you get like multiple previous event winners in the room. Ben Riley is at every one. Nick Starr is at every one. He's a mainstay. Are you 1-1 now, Nick?
1-1 now.
Nick
Good
Starr's
man.
1-1.
Good man.
Oh.
Good job.
2 balls to 6.
Good job. Good job. Keep it up. We'll see you in the top 8. Maybe not. Not if he keeps playing like he did.
Trash player.
Oh, no. He can still hear you.
Can he, though?
No, he can't.
It's death.
But yeah, this is kind of like the stepping stone, you know? It's like at first you go to your local events, you go to your FNMs, you go to your Thursday Night Magic, whatever. Maybe you go to a store, a Saturday event. Then you go to a TJ's event, you try your hand, then you go to a Plus event, then you go to a Grand Prix. It's like this tournament series is kind of a piece that's missing in the greater Magic puzzle.
Yeah, this is the piece that's been missing. That people, competitive, casual, every level, would love these kind of events because there's so much going on today. Like you can play in a PPTQ, you can play in a main event. Tomorrow you can play Legacy.
Yep.
You can play a wacky draft. You could play an 8-man side event. You could be grinding tickets all day for that Dark Confidant playmat you
There we
want
go.
up there. You
There we
know,
go.
like there's so much to do here, and there's vendors all around the room. Some of the best vendors in the Northeast are here. We've got Gaming Etc. We've got
Yeah, we got to give a shout out to our vendors. There's Moose Loot and Flipside over there.
Muslim Flipside,
To go
good
along
old
with gaming.
TJs themselves,
Yep.
with good old Flip, Vanden as usual, great guy.
He should work for Flipside. Why isn't he working for Flipside? I don't get it.
That would be pretty funny, but
All right, we're going to get Elliot Raff in the booth to talk about his lands deck. I can't wait. Elliot, yeah, come on in. We'll talk about this deck. Esteemed judge of the Northeast, Elliot Raff. How's it going, man?
Very well, very well.
I have
Thanks
to
for
say,
having me.
I don't know what judge level you are. Enlighten me.
I'm a level 2 judge.
Level 2 judge.
Yeah.
Wow. Do I have to call you sir?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But I'm not judging today. I'm just here slinging some cards, having some fun.
Fair enough, sir. You're playing a lands deck?
Yes. Yeah, that's the basic overview of it. I'm
Okay.
playing a lands-based deck.
That's
yeah.
all I know about it. So why don't you tell me about it?
Okay. Well, I will say I just got done recording a deck tech with
Oh,
the fine folks over
nice,
there, so
nice.
so
So
you'll
broad
be able to
overview.
see the
Yeah.
whole thing in just a moment. But the idea is it's a red-green lands-based deck,
Mm-hmm.
and it utilizes cards like Life from the Loam, Molten Vortex, Seismic Assault, kind of kill their things,
Anything that
keep the
moves.
battlefield clear. Cards like there are a few spicy kill conditions. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to say now and how much I'm supposed to wait for
Yeah, no,
later.
we'll definitely wait for the deck
Yeah,
deck. We'll
but
probably be
let's-
playing that during our break.
Yeah, let's just say
That's true.
there are a few spicy kill conditions.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
There's a certain card that it used to see play in Modern back in the day. It hasn't seen play in quite a while.
Okay, fair enough. We'll save it for the deck
Yeah,
deck. Keep
yeah.
watching because we're going to play this deck deck. Tell me about yourself then, Elliot. You're from the Northeast, but I don't
Yeah.
know exactly where. Where are you from?
So I'm from Boston.
Okay.
Living in Boston. I've been mainly I judge at these kinds of things
Yeah.
for a while now. I've been a judge for about 5 years.
Nice.
So if you see me, it's likely from then and not from my before time competitive playing days.
This is the man that gives you game losses.
Oh, nope. I don't give anyone game
No?
losses. Nope. No, people earn game losses. I don't give anyone game losses.
That is
No,
savage.
No, I'm not at all.
And true. It must feel bad to have to give game losses for certain things.
Certainly,
Like,
yeah.
Like I was playing at a PPTQ the other day, and I was in the 2 and 3 bracket. We were playing for funsies. It was the last round, and I missed 2 of my own Chalice of the Void triggers on my own cards.
Yeah.
I was probably supposed to be DQ'd, but the,
No,
the
not
judge
at
knew
all.
I wasn't supposed to be.
Oh yeah. No. It's I don't know. So what's great about recent tournament policy is we've actually eliminated most of the things that cause game losses because like we want people playing Magic. So for instance, like if about a year and a half ago, drawing extra cards, if you accidentally drew an extra
Instant
card, that was a
game
game
loss.
loss. Yeah. But now we've got it's just a warning. We've got a fix for it. We really the recent philosophy in the program has really been towards people playing Magic because that's what we're here to do.
Exactly. I mean, I definitely remember my first ever feature match. I was at a Grand Prix. I was a nervous kid.
Yeah.
I was so happy to get a feature. It was deep in day 2. I was live for top 8. I play my first game in my feature. I lose. I'm playing against Eugene Harvey, and the judge comes over like, "Hey, can I talk to you away from the table?" I'm like, "Oh no." He's like, he has my deck list. He's like, "Is there a reason you didn't register any sideboard cards?" It was limited. It was a draft. I'm like, I was really nervous. Is that a legit reason?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I've certainly had those. I've, didn't register cards. I've had a 39 card registered at old school PTQ or whatever.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
When did you start playing, Ellie?
I started playing during Ravnica City of Guilds. So,
Nice.
So about 11 years ago.
It's a great time to start playing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, still going strong.
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you do any competing nowadays, or only judging?
I've judged mainly for the past like 5 years, but I'm starting to get back into playing more because I just miss it, honestly.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, judging's great, but eventually you're like watching a guy playing, or watching a match playing Magic, and you're just like, why aren't I playing?
I could have done that
I see what's going on here. Yeah.
I love it, man.
So, yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for talking. I think we're gonna cut to your deck tech right now. We're gonna do a quick break and then the deck tech.
Fantastic. All right.
Stay tuned.
Well,
see how your wraps
enjoy.
lands. Back. Thanks, Elliot.
Thanks a lot.
Sam has some Lingering Souls he can bring in. He has a Dispel. He has a Blessed Alliance, which is that's actually quite good.
That one's awesome.
That's great
Yeah.
because with the Geist trigger on the stack,
yep.
he can just go Blessed Alliance, Edict you, sacrifice your Geist, and then you get an Angel. You smack me with it. Whatever, your Geist is gone.
Now that's a pretty specific timing window. If you haven't thought about that interaction, you might not really realize that yet you have the window to Blessed Alliance. So it'd be interesting to see if Sam does.
But that's the thing. For every trigger, you always have a response. Anything that goes on the stack, you can always respond to it. That's one of the best things about Magic is just how interactive it is, and how much play there is.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And you think about these products like Duel of the Planeswalkers, this upcoming Magic Digital next, and it's tough to see how they're going to keep all the interaction, all the timing windows, all the cute things in Magic.
I think things are going to get better in next. Duels, from what I remember of 2014, 2015 duels, was a nightmare.
It's barely
for priority.
It's barely Magic.
It's just sorcery speed Magic. Everything plays at sorcery speed.
All right, so we have the players. They have opening hands here. Nick will be on the play because he lost the game one, and he'll be looking for a hand with a fast clock, unlike last game.
Most definitely. Looks like he has his Saheeli, and he has kept his 7. So Nick goes tap Colonnade pass into Sam's tap Sacred Foundry pass. Now, Sam's deck choice is actually pretty interesting. When the camera panned out to him, I realized I know Sam. Sam is a local player. He plays in New Hampshire up at Black Moon Games.
Oh, okay.
Great store. Sam has been playing 4-color decks for quite a while. He's been playing 4-color control mostly, which was the blue-red deck featuring a bunch of burn spells, but except minus what Nick Starr was doing, where he's playing Geist in 3 colors. He was playing 4 colors and Lingering Souls mainly. That was his mainly for the Black Splash, because Lingering Souls it's such a powerful card where it's good. It just does so much. It clocks control opponents with difficult to answer threats. It beats down in combo matchups. It blocks in aggro matchups. It's very versatile, and we have a turn 3 Geist.
Yeah, this is interesting. Nick decides to remand the Spreading Seas. Kind of a quote waste of a remand. He must have been trying to hit a Geist or a 3rd land because he definitely didn't need that mana.
It was quite an aggressive play, but I agree with it. I think it's right to, depending on the complexion of his hand, to just start jamming cards.
Cycle. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just use it as the time walk you cycle.
Yeah. I mean, he has cards like Logic now. He has cards like Snapcaster Mage. So getting the card in his graveyard, it's kind of spinning his wheels a little bit.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to hit on a flashback Lingering Souls. That's for sure.
That's true. That's true. Hopefully he has a snap for the rematch here. That would be pretty good.
Yeah, it would. So here we go. These guys will attack. We'll
Coming
see.
in, double block, Helix 1.
Helix 1. Makes sense.
So Sam loses 1/2 of his Lingering Souls to that attack.
Takes 4 though.
Does.
I mean, 13. You saw this Jeskai Geist deck in action. 13 is not actually that much life.
It's not very high. There is a lot of situations where he can just attempt to go for his combo, and Nick can just kill him in the meantime.
Sure. Yeah.
Just disrupt one part of it and just keep attacking you with Geist.
Mm-hmm. So Pluto Delta gets the crack. Probably just taking 1. I mean, I'd be worried for Sam if he had to take 3 here. I sure hope it's only 1.
Yeah. I think Sam knows what's going on though. Sam is a veteran player to the scene. Used to be an old Yu-Gi-Oh guy way back in the day.
Yeah.
Moved on to a far better game, and he's had a lot of success on the back in the old IQ circuit. He's had a lot of success in the PPTQ circuit.
Here we go, Lingering Souls
whoop.
flashback. But hey, Mana League. So Nick knows that if he gives this Lingering Souls deck a lot of time, if he gives this combo deck a lot of time, it's gonna kill him. So he's just spending cards on half of a card.
Yeah.
He's spending cards on a quarter of a card.
And the great thing about this line too is that earlier he was able to Helix, and so this fetch shock is essentially free.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so takes off the colonnade, goes attacking, slam you for 6, pass the turn.
Yeah. Sam at 6. So Sam 1 attack away.
He is very close to dead.
Nick with a single piece of disruption should be able to take this game, or at least put himself in a position to force something desperate out of Sam.
Yeah, the only Sam has basically not a lot of lines here. He really needs to find something to block this Geist and kill this token at the same time while protecting that line. So we have attacks.
Double snap.
Oh. So snap 1 is going to be snared. Snap 2. Do we have an answer for snap
Might
2?
resolve. Snap 2 might resolve.
Ooh, interesting.
So okay, trades off. Sam does fall to 2 though.
That is
2.
within burn range.
Not a comfortable life total.
Alright, so we have another Geist. Oh
yeah.
no! Yep. Oh no!
That's so needs to come up with 2 more Snapcaster mages here, and he's not gonna be able to do it. He's got like Felidar. Now he's got Sahili, Negate.
Yeah, if he had a 6th land here, he could just try to go for it. He could just go Sahili, a Felidar, blink my land, Sahili.
Yep.
But he is on 5 right now. It doesn't look like he has a land in his end, and he scoops him up, going to game 3.
Yeah. This has got to be a great matchup for Nick. I mean, you have to figure that the deck with 4 Path, 4 Bolt, 4 Helix, like spell snares, remake, like all of these ways to interact.
Every generic card in your deck says interact with their combo, which is spectacular. That's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, I love this matchup for Nick. I mean, even the random one-ofs he has, the Cryptic, the Electrolyze, the Logic Knot, these cards are really good. The only blanks against Sam, there really aren't any. I guess Resto's his worst card.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still good.
Resto's still great because
That's
you can go Resto, blink my snap, target another interaction spell potentially. If you're on, say you're on, what is that? That's 7 mana. But I mean, Nick can get there in this matchup. It's a very slow matchup. Like on Sam's side, he really can't afford to just smash his combo onto the board. Yeah, Nick with a lot of advantage here.
I really wonder what he sided out, because I'm looking at this deck and like every card is good in the matchup. What do you think he sides out?
I think he probably took out the Angels, I want to say. Let's see. Probably the Cryptic. Cryptic, though a counterspell, isn't great in this matchup because it just costs so much mana and can
Sure.
get easily dispelled.
Okay.
In the Blue Mirrors, some people would say, oh, you never take out your Cryptics in the Blue Mirrors, but no. Because the counter magic gets cheaper post-board, you most definitely just side them all out.
Really?
Don't even worry about it.
I'm one of those guys you're talking about. It says never side out Cryptic. Cryptic is so good because at the worst you go, all right, end of turn, bounce your land, draw a card. End of turn, bounce your creature, draw a card. That's like, it's okay.
It's okay, but there's just so much more you could be doing. You could just be trying to resolve an actual threat, I think, or just like side in more dispels, more spell pierces, more of that variety of counterspell.
Okay. Fair enough. Nick
But yeah.
Star, I was talking with Nick about a week ago, 5 days ago, talking about this tournament, if he's going to make any changes to his deck, and we were talking, and I think he's the winningest player in Titanium Series history.
I would agree with that.
Short though it may be, this series has only been around for about 7 months, but Nick Star has top-8'd 4 events, I want to say. Maybe it's only 3.
I think it's more.
I think it's
I think
4.
it's more.
I think it's 4 of the events. He's gone 5-2 at a couple.
I know he's top 16 at least every single challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a read on the metagame. He plays his deck really well, game 1 notwithstanding. Nick will forgive you for that one. It's early. But yeah, he's an all-star. He knows all the players. He knows all the regulars. And here we go. We're in the game.
We have a turn 1 Serum Visions, the classic starter for any blue deck in the format. Do you think that they should bring back one of the banned cantrips? Maybe bring back Preordain?
Probably not. Storm is already pretty good.
Yeah, that's the really problem. I think if they bring back Preordain, they need to ban Grape Shot.
Sure.
Maybe empty the Warrens too. Because it would make other combo decks good too, or like better too. But the issue is not a lot of the other blue combo decks are very good. Ad nauseum, not great.
Yeah, it might be safe. I'd be a little worried, but it could be safe. That's like pretty low down on the list of cards I'd unban.
Yeah, it's no Hybrid Genesis.
Right, it's true. All right, here we are in game. Take us through what's going on.
All right, so we have a stare down on both sides. Both players casting Serum Visions, but not really doing a whole lot besides that. Just playing lands and staring at each other, which is most blue mirrors in Modern.
Yeah, first few turns, you start sculpting, you start building your hand, feel out what the other guy's doing. Be like, is this the kind of person who would play Spell Snare? Do I go for my Seas now? Do I wait till I have Mana Leak back up?
And Nick piloting around Spell Snare Spreading Seas quite well here. He went turn 1 Island, turn 2 Fetch Land, no crack.
Right.
Turn 3, wait for turn 3 to a Ganjo Castle, so that none of his lands get hit by Spreading Seas efficiently. All right, and so we have an end step click. How does Nick want to respond to this?
This is exactly the kind of thing Sam wants to do. He wants to play an end of turn spell so he can untap and actually resolve one of his key cards in the matchup.
So we have a bolt into a look at your hand and whoa, double Geist, remand, dispel, path to exile, and a steam vents. Wow, his hand is quite good, and Sam is attempting to make it less good, taking away the dispel. Nick draws a card, and then we go back to Sam's turn.
Pretty obvious take there for Sam. Take the cheapest piece of interaction you have. You can't take a Geist because Nick has 2. Remand is just not a hard counter, so easy choice. You take the dispel.
I would
And
agree.
more importantly, you know Nick's hand, or just as importantly.
Ooh, and a bolt from Nick Star. Nick Star's hand,
good draw.
just so good.
Good draw. So now it's pretty sketchy, right? Because you could slam a Geist,
Slams Geist.
but that walks into remand.
It walks into remand, and then he's going to. Looks like he's thinking about shocking. Oh, he's not going to shock. He's going to pass the turn.
Yeah, I like
He's
the
not-
decision.
Yeah, he's not at risk of getting Saheeli this turn on 5 mana. And Sam sided in the Fulminators.
Okay.
I'm not too surprised about that actually.
It blocks the Geist.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
it blocks the Geist. It pops some of Nick's lands. It can take him off. As is here, he took him off white, so he can't cast the Geist here unless he finds another white source.
Yeah, I mean, a Ganjo. A
Ooh.
good catch.
Ooh,
I don't
good
know if that
catch.
was the table judge or Sam, but
He
That ain't gonna work.
attempts to fetch with a Polluted Delta to get a Secret Foundry, which is not a thing that can happen.
so easy to do.
It is like that's an honest mistake because like you fetch and you think, I can just get whatever with this.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because we're also used to just fetching anything with our fetch lands.
Yeah, when I draw a fetch land, I'm thinking to myself, this makes any color of mana.
Yeah, this is 5 colors equivalently.
So, Nick with no white source.
Oh no, that's not good. So I'm not terrible though. He really doesn't. Oh, he found the white source. Never mind. We're all good. Goes for a shock. Slams a Geist.
Boom.
And there's another remand. Does Nick want to fight over it?
No, I don't think he can.
I really think he can't, especially with turn 6 coming up. He cannot fight over it.
Wow, Sam is drawing straight gas here.
Ooh. I think he's gonna go for a Kolaghan's Command end step.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Now this is just looking like a 4-color value deck this game.
Yeah, that is the previous deck Sam played before this. Okay, so he goes with a remand on it. Oh, and now this could end badly.
If he has it.
Nope, it does not look like he has the Saheeli Rai plus 6 land. I know he does have Felidar Guardian in hand. Something interesting about Sam's list I'm noticing is that he doesn't have a huge amount of targets to hit with his Felidar Guardian outside of the combo. He has Snapcaster Mage, which can be okay, but is quite expensive. He has Click, which is fine, also fine. But besides that, he doesn't have any of the things we saw back in Standard, like Oath of Chandra or Oath of Nissa. Of course, Oath of Nissa could be relevant in Modern if you play it in a 4-color with green variant of the 4-color Saheeli deck, but I don't think that version is as good as this one.
Yeah, Jerry Thompson was playing a 4-color Saheeli combo deck a few months ago. He was testing it out on his stream, and or at least in a pre-recorded video, and he was playing Oath of Nissa. It looked pretty cool. He had like 6 or 7 mana dorks, Oath of Nissa, so he always did something turn 1. He found his combo. He had Cord for value to get various 1-ofs. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the real problem with Felidar Guardian in Standard was that you just it was too good incidentally.
Right.
It wasn't just that it was an infinite combo, but it just did so much with the Oaths and other cards that were featured in that deck. But wow, this was interesting. Sam going straight on attacking, slamming with all his tokens, and just not caring about protection from this Geist.
This is surprising. So, I mean, theoretically, you're trading 6 damage for 4, but it looks like Sam might have an idea about this Blessed Alliance here.
Ooh, yeah. Looks like he is going to go for this Blessed Alliance with the trigger on the stack. The interaction we spoke about earlier.
Here we go. Do we do two modes?
Two modes. He's going to go for gain 4 plus Edict You.
Walking into Mana Leak if Nick has it. Can't imagine he does, or he'd slam it.
Well, I mean, he might be. He might just be slow rolling it. It's possible.
Be kind of savage.
Knowing Nick, he's pretty savage. It looks like he does have Snap, so he could Snap Remand here potentially. That does give Sam the option to do another cast it again, but he does not go with it. He decides it's fine. Just play another Geist.
Yep. So he knows that Sam has a lot of cards in hand. He knows his hand must be stocked. This is post-board. There aren't any dead removal spells in Sam's hand.
Actually, there is.
Well,
if you look at his hand,
there shouldn't be, right?
there is a Fatal Push
Yeah.
that Sam kept in, which
Yeah.
I don't know about. I'm a little iffy on it. I guess Sam has to keep in some removal to be able to answer things like snaps and colonnades.
The Angel token, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Push is probably his best answer in the deck against all of those things. Like obviously, it doesn't do anything against Geist, but you need something.
So here we go. Sam still going.
Woof, going in.
This is tough because Nick plays 4 Lightning Helix, the ultimate race changer.
I think Sam just has another answer for this Geist though. I think he's pretty confident in it.
With negate backup, too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Sam's hand, Felidar, negate, Fatal Push, and the 4th card, I'm not sure about.
I'm not sure. He's flicking his cards around quite vehemently.
The Kibler.
The good old Kibler. I have a lot of the Kibler in me. I do that.
I played against Kibler for the first time ever at his return back to Magic, and I was hypnotized. I have to admit, I punted the match because I was just staring at his cards. I couldn't deal with it. Thanks for watching. Zach Hall and Dylan Plord here. We're coming to you live from round 3 of the Titanium Plus weekend here in Worcester, Mass.
Last round we saw Eldrazi Tron felled by Zoo.
Yeah,
by
Zoo.
Jun Zoo. Good old Death Shadow. And this round, what do we have in store for them? We've got some interesting decks this time.
Yeah, I actually don't know Anthony Ruffino's opponent. I picked it solely on the basis of Anthony, because Anthony is a renowned control player, plays control every single format, it's legal, and has been playing blue-white and Modern a long time.
Makes
A
sense.
real long time. He had a good finish at an open event last month. He had the record to get into top 8, but he started 1-3. His breakers were so bad that he just drew the last round, which in a good matchup, and he didn't top 8. He came in like 11th or something. Even if he won, he would have been 10th or 9th.
That's why you look at your breakers.
It sucks, man. So he won out from 1 and 3, and he didn't top 8.
I had a friend recently who he sent me a printout of the final standings around the round 4 finals.
Sure.
And he said, why did I draw into 9th? How did this happen? And I looked at it and I was like, okay, we have a player in 11th place in contention. That's why you couldn't draw on. You were in 6th and you couldn't have done that.
Tiebreaker math is hard, man, especially if you're new to the scene and have never done it before.
I'm terrible at math and I'm good at it. I don't know.
Well, you've been around a while, right?
I guess that's true. Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, so I know the ins and outs. But it's basic, like look at the paper and know the variables and know what equals what.
Yeah, you only have to mess up once to basically never mess up again.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, it's like it's like a lot of things in life. You have to get punished once. You have to draw into 9th or 10th once. It's tough. But we have Anthony. We're going to find out who he's playing against soon, and the deck list soon. They're both 2-0 players, though, so they're doing well so far. Trying to make a run. Anthony with his blue-white deck he's been working on a long time, loves getting into the trials. Talks that card up. Every time I talk to him, he's talking about getting into the trials. Yeah, good modern card as it turns out.
Yeah, I've seen it in a few builds, like in a few red-white prison decks.
Yeah.
A few like of the mono-white prison shells. I've seen it bouncing around. It's certainly not that terrible.
Well, the emblem is awful in standard, but in modern, some decks just cannot beat a planeswalker that's in play. Like Ad Nauseam is the classic example. Just can't do it.
No.
Their Lightning Storm can only target one. It only resolves once, right?
They do have an out. They can Echoing Truth instead.
Oh, afterboard.
Or yeah.
Afterboard. Yeah, absolutely. Afterboard. So hopefully the blue-white deck has like one counter spell, right? Like a single way to interact. But no, you're obviously right. They have ways to interact afterboard. But even decks like Lantern has trouble. Like, oh, I can't win the game. You can't lose the game. Yeah, they have Abrupt Decay, but
every turn with 0 cards in your library.
Yeah, you don't lose.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the Platinum Angel mirrors. Like both players have a Platinum Angel. This used to come up in Core Set Limited once in a while, way back in the day. Especially on Magic Online, you both had Platinum Angel, no cards in your library. And it was just like, what now? F6, 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 F6.
Yeah, you just like permanently hold down F6 and you're just like, all right.
Race against the clock.
Whose clock goes down? I'm not gonna say that I haven't ever raced against someone's clock in a Moto game before.
It happens. It happens. Luckily, in this tournament, I don't think we're gonna see Platinum Angel versus Platinum Angel.
You never know. There might be some mono blue Tron decks around here.
I could say Gideon versus Gideon. That'd be pretty sick.
Gideon versus Plat Angel.
Who wins that fight? I'm not
Probably
really
Plat
sure.
Angel.
Yeah, that attacks for 4.
Oh no, it doesn't, because the Gideon Plus is on it.
That's true.
That's more even than we thought.
Yeah, that's what Anthony's playing. He I wrote in a card with him to the open event that we were talking about, and he talked about his blue-white deck for, it was like a 10 or 12-hour drive. He talked about his blue-white deck for 7 of those hours. It was, it wasn't bad. He has a very soothing voice. It put me to sleep once or twice, but he has thought a lot about this deck, and he knows it really well. Who's he playing against, Dylan?
He is playing against Irving. Irving. I believe his name's Irving.
That's a cool name.
It's a pretty cool name. Looks like he's playing We See Eldrazi-Tron for the second time today.
Nice.
Camera.
Nice. Hangerback Walker. I like it. I like this version.
Ooh, is this the Hangerback Walker mainboard version?
Yeah. Check it out.
Ooh, that's saucy. I like it. Yeah, we got Connoisseur, Karn, Hangerback Walker's mainboard, Smashers.
Some of the cheaper cards, the Reshapers.
Ratchet Bomb's mainboard.
Nice. Nice. Give him a little interaction against that Gideon.
Yeah, he does not want to lose to other creatures.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable
at all.
And like a good metagame choice, I think, too, because there are a lot of small creature decks. We've seen Death Shadow Zoo. There are a lot of like White Weenie style Death and Taxes decks floating around. Don't think the Ratchet Bomb's going to serve him well in this matchup. But Anthony does feature 2 Jace Architect of Thought, 2 Guinea of the Trials, 1 Jura, 2 Detention Sphere, 4 Spreading Seas, so maybe I'm just a liar. That might actually be all right.
Yeah, might be fine. I'm looking at this other Tron deck, and I see where the differences are. He has his Endbringers, his Second Dismember, and his Basilisk Collar in the sideboard
Okay.
rather than the main board. And he's playing less Relics main. So
Doesn't have the Basilisk Collar package.
yeah, which I'm a really big fan of the Basilisk Collar package. It's really your only like combo in the deck. Basilisk Collar onto a Walking Ballista. And it's just so. I did it against Alex Lloyd, a great local grinder up in New Hampshire, multi-time Pro Tour attendee. We were testing games one night, and I just went. All right, I had Basilisk Collar in play, and I went Ballista for 4, and he had okay, and I went equip the Basilisk Collar. He reads it. He's like, oh no, and I went okay, ping your Tassiger, and he's like, gain 1, ping your Snapcaster, gain 1.
Terrible, man.
And then he just couldn't resolve a creature in his game. He played like a Death Shadow and went ping.
To call that a combo, I mean, it is technically
It's
a combo, but
That's a
man,
combo.
it is goofy combo.
It's so good. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he can certainly do it post board. He's on the double Basilisk Collar, which a lot of the builds aren't on. They're just on the one of somewhere in the board.
It's so weird because it's like that one card can just